Hello and good evening.
Hello.
To get to do everybody's favorite insect today, the were spider.
Yes.
Arachnid.
Oh, yeah, this is it. If you're scared of spiders, get out of here. Just save yourself the trouble, get out of here.
Yeah,
I'll be showing a lot of spider pictures.
I read the
Let me say
comic.
this.
I read the comic leading up to the episode, and it gets real fucked real quick.
Yeah, let's
Oh,
go ahead and let's start with
absolutely.
the comic. Because every other were species has an instant first change. It's immediate whenever you do the first change.
Mm-hmm.
You look at the comic, and it's like a disease where it's these small changes that happen as the day goes on. I think it's a week or 2 weeks until the first change finally culminates. It's stuff like changes with your vision, changes with your teeth, the need for blood, a fascination with spiders, this devouring hunger in your stomach, and eventually it explodes when your brand new unique Lilland form takes form, and you eat somebody, and that's how it happens.
Delicious,
Because
delicious.
I've read it. How they did the book, their first change is a lot less noticeable because you just become less and less detached, well, more and more detached with everything around you.
It's very similar to Nosferatu and the way their embrace happens. Because Nosferatu, that's a painful 4-day process that you go through as your bones and skin pop into places they're not supposed to be.
Yeah. It mangles
And there we
you.
go. Upon the sound of that oven opening, we have Shanny in the call with us for the first time.
Yes.
Well,
hello.
second time.
Hello,
You're in the-
hello. How's it
You were in
going?
you were in the 3.5 video with us, and now you're here again.
Glad to be back.
Welcome.
All right. And managing to weasel our way into the call before I could shut it down was Dan and King.
I didn't know we were
fellas.
doing a video, to be honest with you.
Well, you're stuck
And
here
then-
now, buddy.
And
That would-
our usual stock with Ryan and Kyle, and you know who I am by this point. Let's begin. All right.
Yes.
Spiders.
So, the were insect. Take a wild guess as to who made this breed.
I'm guessing
the
the
Weaver.
Weaver?
Yes.
Worm.
Now,
Spider.
the Weaver did not make this, apparently.
Oh, really?
Oh,
Yes.
man.
According to the Ananasi themselves, they were not made by the Weaver. Even though every other source we've gone to says that, yes, this was the Weaver complaining to Gaia about not having a changing breed when the wild gets all the changing breeds. And after the Weaver had a big hissy fit tantrum, Gaia
I know who made
finally...
him.
Yeah, Gaia finally caved in and made the Ananasi.
Oh, never mind. I guessed wrong.
Alright.
I guessed it was the developers of the game that made the Ananasi, but oh well.
Yep. We do need to go over two vocabulary terms with the Ananasi, because if you don't catch this, it throws you off. They have a name for themselves and a name for the fera. Now, we call them the Ananasi. They call themselves the Damhan, which is their word for themselves. It's like everyone calls Japan Japan, but they call it Nippon over there. It's like that. And instead of fera, they call every other changing breed Ovid. That's what they do. It's these little vocabulary terms that them and only them use. And they also have recommended viewings or recommended readings where they bring up Caitlin Kieran's novel Silk and a bunch of National Geographic stuff in regards to spiders. You can also check out the Tier Zoo video about spiders and learn about what kind of spider you want to be. Because yes, different spider species come up in this book, and you get to pick which one you want to be. Alright. So we begin when the world was made. The Ananasi themselves cite their own story, and their own goddess cites the story. We get to talk about Queen Ananasa. Yep. Basically a demigod, or a very lesser goddess, who tells a story.
Now let
This
me
is
step in here. Sorry for interrupting you.
Yeah,
So
this
sorry.
is a cosmic being that is telling the story. And
Is it
with
Spider or Avatar Spider?
her saying this, there is no reason for her to lie about this. To me, this information is truthful. And there are other sources that contradict it, but then you begin to learn it's because those other sources did not know this about the Ananasi. So this is first-hand information. This is stuff that's objectively truthful. All right. And according to her, Queen Ananasa, the worm came first. The worm was always there first. The worm was just in a void of everlasting darkness, the abyss, having destroyed anything that could have been made, or having destroyed a world that was already there, but no longer existed because the worm already destroyed it. And that's basically what it was. The worm was just curled up around itself, sleeping in everlasting silence, which is what the worm wants. It just wants to be left alone in darkness, silence, forever. A lot like Orcus from D&D, right? And that motivation. Because Orcus is just your grumpy neighbor who wants you to get off his lawn and just have everything be dead, dark, cold, and silent all day.
Yeah. Orcus gets a migraine from Empire being alive.
They also like to eat a lot. They like to eat a lot of crap.
And the first beings to come, besides the worm, was the wild, who the worm just woke up one day to the sound of something exploding next to him, and the wild just forced himself into creation. The absence of life creates life. And what happened? The worm and the wild immediately began fighting. The wild would create, the worm would destroy. That would just happen infinitely. And see what's in the oven. The wild and Weaver, it was like not a big bang going off, but multiple big bangs consecutively going off. It'll just be explosion, nothingness, explosion, nothingness, and that's it. Just the wild was trying to say, "Let me make the universe already." The worm said, "No, I'm not letting you make another universe after I just got rid of the last one." And the conflict between the two of them were wishing for a mediator between this. Shanny, what are you doing in the background?
So I'm just shifting.
Got it. The two of them were wishing for somebody to come in and be the mediator between the two. Or somebody would come in and tip the scales into their favor. The wild and the worm wished so strongly for this that their powers kind of merged together in this weird yin-yang way and eventually created the Weaver, as we know her today.
Now, this is what the Weaver believes, that they wanted the Weaver so badly because they weren't peaceful with the whole create and destroy thing in the first place, right?
Yeah, be careful what you wish for. You just might get it with the Weaver. And she comes into being, and after that happens, the wild looks over at the worm and says, "Is she with you?" And the worm says, "I thought she was with you." And they both look at the Weaver, and the Weaver says, "I am here not to be the preserver, not to be the one who gives out rules. I'm here to be order. Both of you are inherently chaotic by nature, and the absence of order has created order. That is what I am. Both of you need to chill out, get the universe created already." So the worm backed off, and the wild finally created the universe, and all that was in it. And in doing so, all the stars were made, all the planets were made, and eventually Gaia herself was made. And, well, we know where the story goes from here. The soul eventually finds its way into Gaia, but the worm isn't happy about this. The worm is going off, destroying planets, destroying stars, when the wild has lost interest in them. But the wild is creating faster than the worm can destroy. The worm is looking over at the Weaver saying, "Hey, can you get this guy in check? I'm trying to do my job here. The wild has piled up so much stuff, I can't destroy it all." So the Weaver goes over to the wild, says, "Hey, can you tone it down a little bit?" The wild says, "Sure," and then just keeps doing what he's doing anyway. So the worm steps it up a notch. The wild gets around the worm by giving things souls and spirits. The soul comes from the wild, apparently. And in doing so, you now have spirits. You now have Gaia herself. She gains a soul, she gains sentience, and everything that lives on top of her gains sentience. And the worm is okay with that until he realizes what you've done. In giving stuff souls, you were also creating the Umbra. You also created the spirit world. you also created the Dreaming and the Shadowlands and all these other places that when things die, they don't stay dead. Stuff is reincarnating. Stuff is existing as ghosts. And the worm is furious about this, saying, how is the wild getting away with this? He's looking at the Weaver saying, I'm about to blow everything up if you don't get this guy in check. The Weaver goes over and says, I'm sick of this guy too. What can we do about this?
No, so just stop you right there. This was the time when the spirit world was created. So the spirit world came second from the material world.
Obviously.
Yes.
But the gauntlet has not been made yet, right?
The gauntlet's not been made. That was the Weaver who did that.
Right.
And as we're looking around, the wild is just cranking stuff out. We got amphibians, we got reptiles, we've got spiders, and the wild is monopolizing Gaia, and I'm the only one who gets to talk to Gaia. You don't get to say anything to her. Hey Gaia, what do you want? You want humans? I can make humans. You want changing breeds? I can make them a Cole. Here you go. Here's dinosaur people. In fact, let's combine the two. Let's make the Dragon Kings. There we go. Let's also make the very early one Shan, and behold, they set off the events of Hunter the Reckoning, the very ancient stuff, like also the Kuei Jin book, where you've got the very first imbued. And watch our Hunter the Reckoning video if you want to know a little bit more about that. And then the worm gets sick to damn death of the wild and his bullshit that he throws a meteor at the planet, almost kills Gaia, just to spite the wild who won't cut this shit out. And after Gaia finally pieces herself back together from the extinction event, the wild immediately goes back to what he's doing, and now the Weaver can't stand this guy. So she does a thing where she's looking over, saying, I can't handle the wild by myself. I need to make a second copy of me. Yeah, that's what I need to do. I need to copy myself. She reaches into herself, grabs hold of her own essence, and pulls against herself and creates Weaver number 2. Queen Ananasa is created from her. Is she the Weaver? Yes. She is the Weaver, and she isn't the Weaver. She is her own thing, and at the same time, an extension of the Weaver's will. Now, what the main body Weaver becomes with her doing this, you've seen this with the worm creating the triat, that the main body of the Weaver is order and preservation. That's what she is. Queen Ananasa becomes improvement, where you've got ultimate order where nothing ever changes, to order where the order itself redefines itself. That's the difference between the Weaver and Queen Ananasa.
Queen Ananasa is in charge of all the updates.
Yeah, exactly. She's the one posting the balance patches.
Oh, for fuck's sakes.
And Queen Ananasa quickly breaks away from the Weaver and kind of establishes her own will, with the Weaver saying, what the fuck? You're supposed to be a part of me. You're supposed to do what I say when I say it. Queen Ananasa says, you're stupid. You don't know how to run the universe. I know how to run the universe. You made me to run the universe, and I'm doing a better job than you. And that sets off the whole control freak aspect of the Weaver, where even her own copy isn't listening to what she's saying anymore. You wonder why the Weaver is just so obsessed with control. This is where it comes from. And what do we get? Queen Ananasa starts realizing that the Weaver might be just a little insane. So she starts distancing herself from the Weaver and starts talking with the Wild, and that sets off the Weaver. No, that ain't happening. The Weaver does this whole trick at the Wild, saying, "Hey, Wild, can you look at this? Look at this. It's in my hands. Okay, come over here. Look at this. No, get a little bit closer. Get a little bit closer. You see this? You see this?" And then the Weaver immediately reaches out and tries to bind the Wild. The Wild ends up escaping and bobs and weaves through the Weaver's webs. Now we get an explanation as to why you've noticed we've never gotten a visual depiction of the Wild. You noticed that, right?
Because the Wild is chaos. It has no form. It's just like pure chaos.
Exactly. The Wild is constantly changing what he looks like.
That's why he can't capture it. That's why he can't kill it.
That's what it is. He's constantly shifting between these webs.
The Wild is more.
You were saying?
The wild's more for it.
And the wild basically is Zinch by this point.
Yeah, you don't say.
Yeah.
Warhammer references.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's derivative from Warhammer in this book. Not just this book, but Werewolf and Mage in general. Because
Well, maybe it's obvious, but why werewolf?
yeah, why Werewolf? It's that I've noticed this with a while, for a while, that the wild and the worm are both have aspects of Zinch in them. But the worm takes it a step further by bringing in aspects of Khorne, Slanesh, and Nurgle with the triat. And then the Weaver, kind of like an evil version of the Emperor of Mankind in a way. But, I would like to do a video later about the differences and similarities between World of Darkness and Warhammer, but we'll save that video for another day.
It kind of sounds like a good metaphor for Three's Company.
Yep. if we could get a Zinch in the chat real quick. Yeah, there we go. Here's a depiction of the wild for you.
Well, hold on now. That's not canon.
I know that's not canon, but that's still such a great descriptor for Zinch.
It is.
I mean, we've got to have something to imagine what he looks like.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's just kind of this amorphous blob of shit.
Which is what the wild kind of sort of is.
Yeah.
I just think more like a. To me, it's always like more of like not a Van Gogh, but a Picasso kind of painting. Just like it's all morphy and shit.
You walk around it, and the perspective of what you're looking at changes as you're looking at it, where it changes forms ever so subtly while you're looking right at it.
And we're not even mentioning that that most beings in existence in World of Darkness can't even look at these beings' true forms.
Exactly. You look at the wild, you look at the wormhole to cause your head to split.
Yep. And then he'll split your head and then grow another head out of your other head with a couple of extra eyes and an arm coming out of that. Because why not?
I love mutating.
Reference one of the end-time scenarios. You can go to speak to Luna herself, and that nearly breaks the mind of the werewolf that does it.
And as the Weaver is trying to catch the wild, Queen Ananasa is just watching this happen. And then the worm just walks up right next to Queen Ananasa and sighs. And the worm says, "You know what? Nobody cares about me. Nobody cares about what I have to say. This entire thing's just been the wild and the Weaver this entire time. I mean, I've had problems with the wild. I've had problems with the wild, and nobody's paying attention to me. Nobody cares about what I have to say. And now the Weaver's just not saying a word to me. And the two of you are having such fun creating stuff on Gaia, and I can just destroy. It's like the monologue in I Have No Mouth and I Must Speak, where Am describes just how much he hates humanity. Where he says, I was built only to destroy. There's no room for me to play Beethoven music on piano. There's no room for me to embrace somebody because I have no arms to do it. I will never know the experiences of making love. I'll never know the experiences of holding a child in my arms because I'm just not made for that on a cosmic level."
Well, to be honest here, this actually has some parallels to Greek mythology. Everybody hates on Hades, but Hades' job is actually important.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's why he doesn't get attention.
Yeah, Hades doesn't start any shit. He's always keeping to himself.
Yeah, he's just down there in, down there in his
Hell.
realm, just torturing the wicked, and that's it.
Yes, unlike my brother, I asked for consent first.
Yep.
So Queen Ananasa looks over at the worm and says, "Well, I can kind of make some stuff. I have some wild essence in my arms. We can make something if you want." And the worm, for the first time in his life, is finally happy about something. And the two of them collaborate and start creating something. And the Queen Ananasa is saying, "Okay, I know how this works. I've seen the wild do it many, many times. So this is how you get started." And the worm starts suggesting all this different stuff. Oh, let's add this. Let's add this. Let's add this. And the Wild and Weaver are still fighting while this is going on. And then they hear the whistle of Queen Ananasa. Both of them stop and look over. And then you hear like the Handel's Hallelujah in the background as Queen Ananasa raises her arms, and the worm is right behind her with a big smile as they create the ultimate being. Would you like to guess who that is?
Human.
No, not humans.
It's spider.
Yep.
The
Who
Macaulay.
said- Yep. Nope. It is indeed a spider.
The were spiders.
Hold on. What about the
The
mutant
progenitor of the Ananasi.
Yeah, the Ananasi, the prototype version.
So I missed a couple parts. So hold on. So the Ananasi went to the Weaver, went to the worm or something like that.
No, the worm came to her. That's what it was.
Okay.
Yeah. And they made something together, and they made the ultimate being. After all, it's got 8 legs, 8 eyes. It's smart. It builds stuff, which like the wild does. It preserves stuff by keeping it in the web, like the Weaver does. And then it kills stuff by draining its blood, like the worm does. It was a perfect being that embodied all 3 aspects of the triat, and kind of like getting your relatives to stop fighting by bringing them a newborn baby. That's exactly what happens, because the Wild and Weaver immediately stop and immediately start deciding what the spider's going to do. And the worm just picks up this. The Wild just picks up the spider and is about to throw it out into the world. And the Weaver says, "Wait, hold on a minute. That's too perfect. It's going to kill everything if we put down on the planet. After all, this time the arthropods are everywhere, and if you know about your Jurassic times, big damn insects were dominating the planet around this time.
It was scary.
So she says, let's make him small. Let's make him small. Let's make the spider small." And the Wild says, "All right, we can do that. Let's take the size, like it's a video game where you or Gmod where you take size, you crank it down to the lowest level, and then you throw the spider out into the world, and
But
the
they just made
spiders come
everything
into
big.
existence."
But they just made everything else big.
Basically.
And there we go.
Yeah.
We now have spiders,
Yeah, how big were they originally? Dear God.
human-sized.
Oh, good lord.
Oh, hell no.
Yeah, 6-foot tall spider, and it kills everything on the planet because it's too perfect.
No.
then-
T-Rex could take it.
But then Queen Anne also thinks, hold on a minute. Yeah, we technically stopped them fighting by creating the spider baby, but who's to say that the Weaver's not going to lose her shit again? So Queen Ananasa goes behind the Weaver's back and starts consulting with Gaia, saying, "Hey, those changing breeds, I might need to hit you up with those." And the Weaver turns her head and says, "What was that? Somebody said changing breeds? Gaia, I'm going to need some of those." She immediately runs over to Gaia and says, Gaia, please make me some changing breeds. Gaia, please. And the Gaia says, okay, we'll finally make something for you. What do we got? Well, the Wild already made were crocodiles and were sharks, and we're currently making a were raven. Oh no, I don't want any of those. I don't want a reptile. I don't want a fish. I don't want a bird. Well, we've got mammals. No, I don't want mammals either. What's that? Insects? Give me those. And so
Hold on. They're
Yep, you heard
arachnids.
that right. Now that's something that I've gotten wrong on this channel. I'm doing a retraction right now. The were insects were not made by the Wild, they were made by the Weaver. This book confirms it.
Makes sense.
And Mind's Eye Theater also says the same thing, that they were made by the Weaver. That was me reading Mind's Eye Theater wrong, and I'm sorry if I threw anybody off of that. So, were insects plural. We have were bees, were moths, were locusts, were ants, were termites, were stag beetles, were rhinoceros beetles. Pick an insect, and then imagine that a 9-foot tall Kranos form. Now you have the Weaver's perfect little army. And she looks at
Where
all these
dragonflies.
Oh my god, that would be horrible. Dog, you're going up against a creature that has 360-degree vision with all the perks of cross form. You ain't winning that
Fuck
fight.
that. Fuck that.
Dude,
I could
Like,
say
I know.
you can fly on them though.
Yeah,
You
but
can
like,
fly on them.
With
Hold
all
on.
these individual wings that flap at their own pace at their
actually,
own rhythm.
Shanny, that's an incredible point. Like putting a fucking mount on a Criniform were dragonfly with a Gyro on top of that, wielding a spear. It's over. It's over.
Oh yeah.
That'd be
Guys,
the
hear
most
me out.
metal shit
We
ever.
are
They'll
cockroaches.
They're either crap themselves to death, or if they're still stupid enough to fight, they're gonna die painfully.
Yeah.
that That's interesting to me too, because you remember the puka, and they have the very rare insect puka, and that's technically the closest thing we'll ever see to another rare insect. So that kind of leads me to think just how much of a connection do the puka have with the weaver?
That's an
And
excellent idea. Or an
Yeah.
excellent question. I don't know.
So
Sounds like a silly idea to me.
upon seeing this, Queen Ananasa is looking at the weaver talking to all of her new rare insects, and she's saying, "You're all my minions, and you will do what I say when I say it," as the weaver typically does. The weremoths refuse. The weaver takes a massive hand, smashes every moth, immediately kills her own changing breed after making them. And Queen Ananasa sees that and says, "Oh shit."
Again, you do what I say.
Yeah, we need a contingency. She runs over to Gaia and says, "Okay, that changing breed, I'm calling that in. We need that favor now." She slams her hand down on the make changing breed button, and with Gaia, she creates what we will now know as the Ananasi, created from the perfect being that I guess somehow the Weaver just did not get her hands on. And the were spider is made. There we go. Now we get into the real meat and potatoes of the story with the insect wars. Queen Ananasa knows the writing on the wall. She knows what's going to happen with all these different were insects. Gaia will be powerless against an entire army of giant insects led by the Weaver. The Weaver wants to control everything by this point. She's slowly becoming this unreasonable control freak. And Queen Ananasa, what she does, she sets off the insect wars. Behind the Weaver's back, she orders every member of her Ananasi to go out and kill the were insects. And that's what they do. Keep in mind what you are up against. We have talked about accomplishments on this show before. We've said the Gev Fenris and their fight with Odin, pretty cool. The Uktena and their fight in the Pure Lands, even cooler. The were spiders taking on changing breeds plural by themselves, and they killed every single member of the were insects. All of them. Keep in mind what some of these creatures can do.
Okay, was this before or after, like, the Garu also started
Before
the
the
War of
Garu.
Rage?
Holy
Before
shit.
the Garu.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
was long before then.
Yeah.
Where what?
Yeah, the
Where-
Fuck
the were-wasp.
that. I would
That-
shoot that
that-
with a
I got-
fucking shotgun.
I got my ass stung last Sunday, like walking to my house after getting groceries, on the neck by a wasp. That stayed swollen for 4 days. Imagine
Yeah.
getting
Oh,
stung by
gosh.
that stinker.
I fucking hate
Oh,
wasps.
yeah, no,
They're
that's-
terrible.
That's horrible. Yeah,
Well,
I would cry. I
What
would
fucking environmental impact would there be for destroying every shit ass wasp on the planet?
There actually would be a
It's
negative
not like
one.
they're bees. It's not like they're bees that actually help.
They don't
flowers.
pollinate.
Yeah, but
Same
we
with,
need
like-
birds to eat them.
Same with mosquitoes. I mean, like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
the
there's a lot of
were-mosquito-
there's a lot of other kinds of insects that birds can eat.
the strength of the were ant, the sturdy carapace of the were beetle, same with their mandibles too, the raw endurance of the were cockroach, the deadliness of the were mantis. You went up against all of these creatures without any technology whatsoever, just
Oh,
your
shit.
powers, and you succeeded.
That sounds deadly. That sounds like the most deadly I wear a mantis.
And you did all of this
where
without
scorpion?
without making a pact with Luna. They have no auspice. They never went to Luna for any power.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
their most broken power. They have no metal weaknesses. That's
They
fucking
can't
scary.
Yeah, and they can't friends, so they have no rage.
And speaking of which, what was the Weaver doing around this time? Killing Luna and everything on her body. The Weaver, in a fit of madness and just anger about the wild and the worm doing shit that she couldn't have any control over, she just turned her anger against Luna and went over and just ruined her life. She wiped away everything that lived on her. Luna, all the moons, it's not just the moon over Earth, it's every moon in the galaxy that are all embodiments of Luna. The Weaver, just out of spite and out of anger, went around to every moon and caused an extinction event on every moon. There used to be
Hold on.
life on Luna. Now there's not.
Let me see if I can
Fucking
channel
insane.
the Weaver for this one moment.
Good thing Coyote brought all the creatures out of Luna back to Earth.
Yeah, hold on. Let me channel the Weaver in this one moment. Let me channel the Weaver.
Alright.
Boy, did I just catch you having fun? Whip.
So, what was there a reason why she targeted Luna specifically, or was Luna just in the wrong place at the wrong time?
Wrong place, wrong time. Luna just happened to be standing in the way on her way over to her real target, the worm.
This is child
Right.
abuse.
Dang.
Yeah, and the worm's looking over saying, Weaver, what'd you just do? Did you just kill all life on Luna? Awesome! You finally see things my way. Great. All right, we're going to destroy everything together. We're finally going to get one up on the wild because fuck the wild. And the Weaver says, "Yeah, we're going to do that. Here's a little kiss on the cheek. Now follow me to my little astral bedroom." And the worm is rubbing his hands together, going, "Oh yeah, we're finally going to get some. We're going to finally cosmically get some." The Weaver's like it gets descriptive a little bit. Says the Weaver is on her back, her hands behind her head, her legs spread. She's like Kim K in the Ray J porno video. And
Oh wow! It really said that, huh?
well, not that, but
Well, hold
Well,
on. So you're saying
with what you're implying.
yeah, and yeah, it's about to happen. Like he who cannot create is about to copulate with the Weaver, but as it turns out, the Weaver said, "Hey, can you put on these handcuffs before we start?" The worm said, "Can do." And before the worm knew it, he was wrapped up in the Weaver's webs. He didn't even get any. Now the Weaver just teased him the entire time. And using everything she had, she bound the worm. And the worm is looking saying, "Hey, what the fuck? What's going on here?" And the Weaver says, "You're getting in my way of killing the wild. Once you're out of the picture, nothing's going to stop me from getting my hands on him." And the worm thrashes and tries to escape the web, but it's impossible. He is permanently stuck inside the Weaver's web. And in his despair, he creates a triat in doing so.
So there's
Dan,
some contradictions in this story. So first off, the fact that the worm can actually create something. And one of the things it created was part of the Ananasi, or spider. And second thing, the fact that the Weaver destroyed things, because the Weaver doesn't destroy; it just organizes things, and that the fact that it destroyed things on Luna is a little bit contradicting.
So keep that in mind.
Look at it like this: yes, destruction and death is all their domain, but there's many facets of death and entropy that they could create.
Mm-hmm.
Could you explain that again?
There's many facets to the aspect of persistence, death, and creation. There's more to them than just death.
After all, you do have the worm with Oblivion and the Neverborn. How is stuff born out of the abyss? How are there abyssal creatures? How does La Sombra exist? And where did those powers from?
God, what the fuck is it? What the fuck is out of inside existence? Don't worry about it.
Yes.
Well, it needs a creation in order to it basically creates via corrupting something. Mm-hmm. So with that sense, that logical sense, it means that the spider is basically a corruption of the worm.
Take a look at this. Festering. That's also entropy, but they also can grow.
Yeah, getting infected with parasites or something like that. And the Weaver at the same time. The Weaver makes weapons of war. She gives things purpose. She gives things order. It's not so much that the Weaver preserves, so much that the Weaver is law. I think we've been thinking about the Weaver in the wrong sense. She is order created from chaos, and her destroying stuff is establishing an order that destroys life. She's capable of great life and great destruction at the same time. She's both the wild and the worm in her own sense. That's what she is. But keep that in mind too. Who's been telling us the story? An offshoot of the Weaver. Who's to say that Queen Ananasa is telling the truth? And who's to say that this is another case of unreliable narrator? After all, she's made by the Weaver, who is this massive soothsayer that's going into the ears of the Glasswalkers and is slowly turning what is now today the most powerful werewolf tribe in terms of capital, weapons, and presence in human society, and she's
Gifts.
making them her puppets. So who's to
Yeah.
say that Queen Ananasa isn't with the Weaver and isn't whispering this in your ear, trying to get sympathy on you, trying to convince you that she and that Ananasi are the heroes? Who's to say that? Because after all, this book has information that no other changing breed can validate because they don't know this stuff. They don't
Yeah.
talk about this. You
That's
notice
one
that
of
the Korax and the Coyote and the Nuisha don't bring any of this up.
Yeah, that's one of the things I noticed about this book is how dense it is. Like, it is a wordy book, I will say that ahead of time, but it's just so full of information that you would not get from anyone else.
Yeah. If
And
I were to describe another changing breed that's just like the Naga, it would be the Anansi because they keep it all to themselves.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, like, there is the Macaulay, and they're like the memory of Gaia, but not even they are this in depth.
Yeah, and do you think that Macaulay would know about this too?
Exactly.
Or just nobody has asked Macaulay about this question?
I'm pretty sure the changing breeds of all cross know about the Anansi, but it's generally a good idea not to force answers out of creatures such as were spiders and try to attempt that.
And if you talk about them, you might not be seen again the next morning.
Yeah, we're going to get into their powers later, and you're going to realize how busted they can get.
Oh, yeah.
And after the worm is bound, the wild's defenses go up and they stay up. He puts as much distance between himself and the Weaver as possible. And, well, I can't get the wild ways like this. Then the Weaver turns, see that the insect wars have concluded. There went her plans for Gaia, as now she's got no presence, no worshippers on Gaia to do her bidding. And so the Weaver's just stuck. You got the worm, but you don't have Gaia and you don't have the wild. And this confirms what we kind of already knew with the Stargazers. The Weaver is another villain in the World of Darkness. You think the worm is the villain? No. The Ananasi points something out. If you destroy the worm, what is going to stop the Weaver from doing whatever the hell she wants?
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, at the end of the day, the worm isn't truly evil. It's just crazy.
Where the minute that I'm thinking in the Apocalypse book, the Times of Judgment Apocalypse book, the first Apocalypse scenario is the worst one because you destroyed the worm in the final battle. You put the worm in a dormant state. You do nothing for the Weaver. So who's to say immediately after that chronicle ends, the Weaver swoops in and wins the game. Boom. Zenitsu doesn't even get the chance to take over the world in the Crucible of God. The Weaver comes down with her giant bottle of spray glue and sprays everything, and now everything's stuck the way it is forever.
Holy shit.
That's what she's. It's the same villain plot as President Business for the Lego movie.
Yeah, no, here's one thing I just realized is for all the epic stories we've been telling, but the World of Darkness is legitimate cosmic horror.
Exactly. And people say, oh, Chronicles goes more for personal horror. You can do that too in World of Darkness. In classic World of Darkness, you can still do that. You can put all this stuff off to the side, and you can just make a story about were spiders being were spiders. That's what Orpheus is. Orpheus is a self-contained book that's more about personal horror. So you can still have that.
It can be cosmic horror if you want to be, but it can also be a bunch of fun adventures.
Yeah. Chronicles of Darkness sucks. I hate that book so much.
Hold on now. We're going to talk about Chronicles of Darkness in another episode. You have to stop bitching.
We will give them no attention.
Fine. Anyway, Cole, since Push here has been talking about the whole entire lore, you want to take up, you want to start up, sorry, with my stutter. Shit, fuck. Anyway.
Yeah, it's all good.
You want to do the mini comic at the start of the Anansi book?
Yes. So I gave it a read when we first got started, and like it seems just it's really odd how it goes about it, because usually in things like this with Freak Legion, with the Get Ephemeris book, with any tribe book with the comic at the start, it's always really sudden, and all of a sudden you're dragged into this world. But this one just happens very gradually. You know, it starts with a girl's prom dress getting ruined because she cut her finger and bled on it. And then her friends, like, you know, wants her to go out and... Oh, yeah. And she, like, talks smack to her friend, just becomes increasingly more detached. Until, you know, there was, like, this trigger event where, like, her friend gets hit by a car. and she like touches the blood, but she's like there in the middle. Everybody else is just standing around, and then in the bottom, what a waste! Like that's one of the telltale signs there. And then she
you start
sees,
losing your sense of empathy.
yeah, and then comes the big change right here. That's what the fuck we're dealing with. Fucking
And that's not the only thing that the form looks like. Because the Lillian form, we'll get into that with Shanny in a minute.
yeah.
But
Well, get somebody send
Mhm.
Danston a copy of the book real quick. Or actually, here I can do that.
Yeah.
Give me a sec.
yeah, that's just an example of what the
Yeah.
of what the Lillian form looks like.
Yeah,
We'll
and,
get.
but the interesting part of that is that in the end, it's her father, or so-called, re-enters the picture, and he. The weird thing about it is the words that he uses, where he says, he isn't the man that raised her, but the man that sired her.
You notice that is very similar language to vampires.
Very. And we'll get into why that is later on when we get to relationships. But I did think that was really interesting.
You notice that every single changing breed that was made through the wild uses Gnosis.
Yes.
The Ananasi don't have that because they weren't made through the wild. They instead have blood points, the same way a vampire does. And that kind of raises a question about vampire society, because everybody says the vampire is of the worm, because it's entropy, right? It's
Yes.
something that's dead but doesn't stay. It doesn't go away. It just stays there forever, kind of like the wild does with no, like the worm does with corruption.
I would
But
say
here's the thing.
vampires of the Weaver and the Worm.
Yes, it's a synthesis between the two.
I would argue that the difference, though, is that the vampires actually feed off of blood, whereas Ananasi, they don't need blood to actually live. They just use it for their powers, because they actually feed off of just actual creatures.
You could just be a human and just eat like a human. You could just do that. But the spider's going to do what a spider's going to do. A spider's going to make a web and catch a bug in it and drain its blood.
The point is that what makes vampires like more worm than weaver is their beast and their hunger for blood.
Yeah, you got a devil inside if you
blood.
want you to let loose.
Yeah, their need for it. Yeah, that's why I would argue it's not that vampires are not weaver.
Now we got a little bit more, little bit more history, a little bit more.
Oh, okay, a little bit more.
So we get to where we're familiar with these stories, the Imperium and the War of Rage, where the Ananasi are waiting around looking at the Guru and think, you guys are idiots. You guys are stupid. You're going to save the world and fight the worm by killing all of humanity and then killing all the different changing breeds. That sounds like a really smart idea. And so the Ananasi are just watching this happen, and then they look over their shoulders and see, I don't know, the red talons and the Serafangs over their shoulder, and they go, hey, weren't you the guys who killed the were insects? And then before the Ananasi could explain to them what the insect wars actually were, they start getting killed by the werewolves. So collectively, the Ananasi just convinced the Garo Nation that they all died by just pulling themselves out from the battlefield altogether. They just step out. Yeah. They just quit the War of Rage. They just go out and out leave.
They're like, fuck this, we're out of here.
Yeah, they ran and hid.
Yeah, just get out from the enemy lines.
Which was the smart thing to do, to be
Yeah.
honest.
Well, actually, tell me again why the Ananasi killed all the insect breeds. Like,
It's
why
the Weaver. Direct allies of the Weaver, dude. So it's to get the Weaver's hands off of Gaia. That's what that was. And I don't know. We might have a werebug in the chat right now.
To be honest here, probably most of 90% of werewolf society and most changing breeds besides the Naga know the Nazi are still around because of how their tax structure was.
Yeah, it's the same as having the worm create a changing breed and just leaving that changing breed alone, knowing what the worm could do with that. That's the whole reason behind the insect wars.
Let's talk about the society structure, because that's
hold on, King. We still have a little bit more.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go on.
And then after the War of Rage, the Weaver finally finds Queen Ananasa she's looking through the umbrella to find out where's this bitch. Where is she? I need to get my hands on her. I need to give her a piece of my mind. She finally finds her. There you are. The Weaver reaches in, snatches Queen Ananasa, and Queen Ananasa notices, oh, Weaver, you changed what you look like. You gained an obsession with perfection. You destroyed your original body, and now you look like a spider. Your obsession with perfection, you modeled yourself after the perfect being, and you modeled yourself after the creature that killed your alleged perfect creations with the were insects. The Weaver drags Queen Ananasa into her realm, and then turns her into this giant gem of amber, with Queen Ananasa frozen inside of it. Now, when we covered the Rokia, you remember that story about the Weaver's Pearl?
Oh shit.
That's what that was. Now it makes sense. The Rokia knew what it was, but didn't fully understand it. What the worm does with the triat, they invade the realm of the Weaver. And the Weaver thinks they're going after the bounce worm and defends the bounce worm. No, they snatch Queen Ananasa, and oh shit. There they went. And they all dove into Malpheus with Queen Ananasa. They go into the Labyrinth Obscura, and drop Queen Ananasa right in the middle of it. And aha! We found out a little bit more about you, Queen Ananasa. We know what you've got. We've been looking into your domain. You have a divine link to humans. So if we have you, we control the human race. And that's how the worm, the Defiler worm, starts the Fomori project. By learning more and more about human structure through Queen Ananasa, and thus creates the Fomori. Now we see where all this trouble starts off. With the Fomori Wars, the almost extermination of the Fianna, the purification of the Pure Lands, it starts here. And the Ananasi think to themselves, we need to save our queen. We need to get her freed. They all run over and convince the Korax, hey, go tell them the werewolves that there's this giant threat going on in this hellhole in the middle of Scotland. They need to run in and save this. The Korax look and say, who are you? And they say, oh, I'm a bird as well. Don't worry about it. I'm just another Korax like you. Don't worry about it. The Korax say, okay. And then just call over the werewolves. The werewolves say, oh, there's the worm. It's in that hole. And so they all jump into this hellhole and do their first excursion in Malpheus. You've got the Fianna, the White Howlers, the Silver Fangs, the Red Talons, and the Fenris, I'll say, for this mission. That they went and did this. And they're in
for a minute?
Yeah, because those are the five tribes that will have been around for that mission.
Okay, so what was the connection between the humans and Queen Spider?
Queen Ananasa, with that Weaver Pearl story, you remember that who has the pearl controls the human race. That's what Queen Ananasa has. The improvements of humanity. Because as you notice, humans are the only creature on Earth that innovate. We're the only people who invent. We're the only people that make new stuff. That's what Queen Ananasa is. She is the essence of improvement and innovation.
Holy shit! I didn't know they would classify as her chosen people through that measure alone.
Yes.
Hold on, but she didn't create the humans.
She didn't create the humans, but she became their champion. You know,
unbeknownst to everybody.
Yeah, it's like D&D Divinity rules. You don't have to create the race in order to become the god of that race.
You just have to take it.
Yeah, like our good friend, Inogu with the Gnolls. He wasn't the god of the Gnolls, but he took that position.
Yeah, there are gods of the Gnolls that aren't dickheads. He's just the father of all Gnolls.
Yeah, Gorelick.
Mm-hmm.
The nice.
Yeah, Mirrodin or Corthan.
Like that.
Not really, yeah.
And the werewolves all run down to Malpheus. Oh, we gotta go in. What's this thing called again? Oh, if we find this giant amber crystal, that's actually the worm's heart. If we destroy that, then we kill the worm. Hey, it sounds like a good mission. And they go over and they find it, and they start wailing away on it. They start wailing away on this amber prison, and only to realize, well, hold a minute. There's a chicken there. Hey, can somebody use sense worm? Oh, we're running Malpheus, dude. That's going to set out. No, use it anyway. And so they sense the worm, and it sense that, we're sensing Weaver off that. That's not the heart of the worm. You lied to us, Korax, and they all run over and start beating the shell of the Korax after that.
Well, you can't detect Weaver when you use Sense Worm.
Yeah.
So they would have to use Sense Worm.
Yeah, they're
Sense
not
Weaver,
sensing. They had to use Sense Worm. They sense No Worm and sense Weaver, and that's Weaver right there. And well, the Ananasi don't ever come out and say, "Oh, it was us who sent you on that mission." The Korax are just saying, "Oh no, we got told to tell you that. We got told to tell you that. Who told you? Ah, no, please leave us alone."
Good job,
Come on,
Korax.
hold on. After the first 12 beatings, we're your brothers.
Yeah.
All right, fine.
And the Ananasi just dip, and what have they done?
Dickhead.
Well, they have accomplishments, but they're not going to put their name to it. They've been around this entire time. You
So
just
hold
need to
on.
look over your shoulder.
Did they free Queen Anansi from the Amber thing?
No, the werewolves just left her there. So,
I mean, she can still give orders, but she's stuck there.
yeah, she's still stuck in Malpheus because the Ananasi aren't going down there. No, they're not going down there, especially after the Black Spirals get made. But the werewolves did crack the Amber prison. So that allowed Queen Ananasa's voice to seep out through that crack and into the material plane. So how that works with Queen Ananasa? We can now talk about totems because they only have the one totem. Queen Ananasa is the one and only totem of the Ananasi, and how you communicate with her is by being in your Ananasi cairn, called the Sile. You have this chamber in that little cairn that carries the voice of Queen Ananasa.
Hey, just so I can put it up on the thing, which page is that?
See, what page is that?
Yeah.
See, shit. Well, now that you say that, I'm lost on it, but let me keep going.
Sorry. Yeah.
All right. So Queen Ananasa herself, what she does, she is free. She is free. You need no background points to take her. And this is the one and only totem of the Ananasi. As a totem, Queen Ananasa grants 3 dots in occult and 2 in enigmas, while her child is meditating inside their little cairn. Her ban is that her children must follow the laws of Ananasa, and the other fera must cooperate with the Ananasi. Though the fera that she'll give points to if they're cooperating with the Ananasi after they make themselves known and are working with them, can take her for 8 points of a personal totem. And she does not favor packs. She's not into the pack structure. But every member of the Ananasi, whenever they're inside their little cairn, gets 3 dots to a cult and 2 dots to enigmas. She makes you smart in her presence. And what she does with these cairns, her voice will go into the cairn, and she'll give you divine orders inside there. Like how some people will say they can hear the voice of God inside of a church. That's the thing with every Ananasi cairn. Queen Ananasa has a direct lifeline to you inside these. And she has a plan. She has a plan on how to free herself, how to rebalance the triat. Not kill or banish any of the members, just rebalance them. And finally restore the world back to the way it should be. She's not doing this for Gaia. She's doing this for balance. That's what she's doing.
This begs a question. So
they take all the worms and put them back into the original worm. Simple.
Right.
So what happened? So how exactly did the Ananasi Karen structure? How did that actually work before, like the Black Spiral Dancers actually came to existence?
There were 8 centers for the Ananasi. There were 8 places on the planet where you had these gigantic cairns that Queen Ananasa in her realm had a direct lifeline in. And you had these 8 different bases, and after she was captured and brought into Malpheus, those 8 places are still there, but eventually the Ananasi were able to it's not fully explained, but it's no longer just those 8 locations. It's any cairn that the Ananasi make. Which kind of begs the question, what did you only have those 8 locations and that was it? Or did you only ever make the 8 cairns?
I think they're piggybacking.
Yeah. And that's how that works.
But this also explains, do you mind if I go a little bit tangent about their clan structure?
Go ahead.
this also explains why most people don't know much about the Anansi because, like you said before, there's only 8. That doesn't
Yes.
sound like a lot, but then you realize how big the planet Earth is and how lost you can be. So the Anansis are basically you either run into one Anansi or you run into hundreds.
Exactly. It's all the fun little traps you get with them.
Yeah, it's basically like stumbling across. You either find one spider or you find like a billion of them.
You poke this little ball, black ball on a
And-
playground slide, and all of a sudden that ball breaks apart, and it turns out it's this gigantic swarm of spiders.
Yeah, and they have
Wait
a
until
very.
you hear about. Wait until you hear about their crawling.
That's terrifying.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
gonna get there. We're gonna get there. We're still talking about their clan structure now.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Now, their clan is very much so matriarchal because it
Yes.
typically follows the priestesses, then the warriors. It's not like they're sexist or anything. It's just that, yes, you are the most like our mother, so you're in charge. That's basically how it is.
On top of that, they've got a caste system very similar to the Assamites, where
Yes.
you've got. They have their own words for it, but let's just call it like it is. Let's just call it the warrior, the wizard, and the watcher, because that's basically what it is.
Caste system by that too. They have a caste system for every aspect of the cosmos. They have a caste system for correcting the worm, caste system for correcting the weaver, caste system for the white wield.
Yeah, they have the Weaver caste is called the Tenere, the Worm caste is the Hatar, and the Wild caste is the Komoti. They all, yeah.
Sorry, and each of them has 2 more to deal with in caste systems that mingle with the other caste. So they have 9 castes in total.
Yeah. Yeah, you have 9 different castes. Imagine you had your head spin when you were trying to play a Salubri or an Assamite. Now imagine how much your head is spinning now with the Ananasi and all these different things you have to pick between. You
Okay.
don't ever change this. This is your divine destiny. There is no changing between castes. And this is your divine job. With your triadic caste,
So it's their
You are-
auspice.
you are assigned to one of the faces of the triad. You are either going to dedicate your life to rebalancing the wild, the weaver, or the worm. You advocate for your triad, and you also fight against them at the same time. You make sure they're able to prosper in areas that they're losing, and they're reduced in areas that they're too numerous. So yes, you have Ananasi who fight for the worm, but they do so in a healthier
Correct.
way. Yeah. They understand that the destruction of the worm is necessary. You need stuff to die in order for stuff to be built. So you will have Ananasi who are doing what the Black Spirals thought they were doing, but this is how you worship the worm. But they don't let themselves fall. There are fallen Ananasi. They're known as the Kumo, the Ananasi who lose the plot and become full-on fallen spiders, where you start worshiping the triadic worm instead of the idea of the balanced worm. And now you've got a black spiral by another name, but with all the perks of being a spider.
We're gonna get into power structure later. Yeah, I think we're getting into the change of breed part. Yeah,
Yeah.
the change of form.
Yeah. Now, Shanny, I sent you a list of all the different forms at the. Well, I didn't send you a list, but you looked over the forms, didn't you?
Yes, I have the tribe book open in my phone right now.
All right, well, let's go over the different forms they have.
Yeah.
Okay, let me scroll down to that.
We have
It
the
was on
Hamid, the Hamid, the Lillian, the Pithis, the Curling, and the Aranid, which is what we've got.
Oh, all right,
This is
I
a-
got it.
Yeah,
Hamid form, we know what this is.
Yeah, the Hobbit form is just basically their human form. It's not any different from the Garu. The Lillian form, it serves a purpose. It's meant for combat. It's just this big, freaky, half human, half spider form with multiple limbs. For mostly human face, except with multiple eyes and the fangs. Really freaky. It's basically their Krynos form.
Now, here's the thing with that form. It's similar to the Archid form with the Macaulay, as in the Ananasi came into this form, whatever you want on character creation. You want to look like Loth from D&D? You can do that. You want to look like Fang from Teen Titans, where you just got a giant spider for a head and that's what you've got? You can do that. You want to be an anthropomorphic tarantula? That does not sound as cute or cuddly as you think it is.
It's
You
not.
can do that.
What
'Cause-
when I first heard of this form, the first thing that came to mind is like you're just in your it's like a regular human form, but you have like three sets of arms and then your legs, and you just have fangs and eyes.
That's creepy as hell, along with being 9 foot tall when you're in this form.
Yeah, basically, I don't know if you guys seen it. It's the older version of Spider-Man, where Spider-Man mutated and he had like when he had 6 arms.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
The early
That
installment weirdness of Spider-Man.
Okay, moving on. We
Sounds
have
very
the
sounds very
yeah.
Kafkan to me.
Yeah, it's nasty.
And then we have nightmare fuel. We have
We
go
have
back.
the Pithis form. The Pithis form is just a really, really big spider. It's
Kill it with
essentially
fire.
their hispo form. And when I first heard about this, I remember seeing what was it? What's his name? Lazar Stygius video talking
Ye-
about the different changing breeds.
Oh yeah, and he's got the big damn
Yeah.
spider net one.
Oh yeah. I just pictured a giant tarantula or a giant wolf spider the size of a freaking uh Kia Soul.
Yeah.
So yeah,
No, it's not that
really big
It goes
spider.
up to your waist. Basically, kill it with fire.
Here's what Kyle thinks about. Kyle, it's your favorite. There he is.
Oh, that son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Fun, yeah, it's fucking warp
That-
spiders. Engaging warp spider.
Yeah, this is definitely a balanced enemy, not stupid at all.
Now-
Oh gosh!
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! No!
Yeah,
No!
that thing come after you.
Hold on. That sounds like
Flamethrower! Get the flamethrower!
Point
A
is,
machine gun won't cut it. Get a flamethrower.
Kill it
everyone
with
knows
fire.
we never see
Purge them
green.
in
If we
flame.
ever see that in real life, nuclear area, I do not care. Nuke it.
See,
Space spiders are fun though.
I don't care
Now,
if my home goes up in fire. It's worth it. Get it
Now,
away
Just
from me.
just imagine you're looking at a spider, you blink and it's fucking gone.
now here's
No.
the thing. Here's the thing. We gets even worse with the crawlerlings.
Oh,
The crawling form is just millions and millions of spiders. You break down
Yes.
into millions and millions of spiders.
You heard that right. You exist in multiple places at the same time in this form.
Now, you want to tell us the most powerful? You know what? You want to tell us why that form is so potent?
It's like a
Because-
badass trip.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's a little piece of you all over the planet in that form, where
Mhm.
I think I'm going to lose some of you with this reference. I know Kyle loves the story JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Yes, the best anime I've only watched like one season of.
There is a stand in it called All Along the Watchtower that is a deck of playing cards that have legs and eyes. And what the user can do with that is that becomes an ultimate espionage stand because he can hear everything through those cards. He's able to slide those into cracks in brick walls and inside of briefcases. And he uses that where he spreads those cards all over Italy to create a massive information network inside places of interest. So he's always got his ear to the ground. That's what you've got with the Crawlerling. You want to know why it's impossible to catch the Ananasi? Because this is the form that they're in. And they're everywhere when they use this. You see a spider anywhere, you have no idea if that's going to be an Ananasi or not.
Yep.
Here's the busted power. You have to kill at least 90 to like 70% of that. If you don't, they can still survive. You
They
have to
can
kill
reform from that.
that thing to kill it.
So there you go.
Yeah, so
If you're-
I feel like this is
Yeah.
how you'll know if it's an Ananasi, if it does this shit.
this is the thing too, because this is why the Ananasi are so hard to kill. It's because when they're back against the wall, they're not going to fight you to death like the Ratkin will. They're just going to turn into a crawling form and disperse.
Yep.
This is
Oh,
a
yeah.
level Zamichi ability that they get right out the gate.
Oh, yeah. Did I mention this is also how they get into the Umbra, too. So fuck you.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
Yeah, they just crawl along a web. Just crawl into the Umbra.
Now, one fun fact. Because of how the Anansi work, their form, their human form, always just fits perfectly to match the peak attraction. If that means if you had an Anansi with a human, both at 3 dots in appearance, you would say the Anansi is always the hottest one because the form.
And
of what?
there's one more that are a need form, but this one's unique. Where
Very
Shane,
much so special snowflake.
Shane, do you know about this form?
No, I only know about the four we just discussed.
The Aranade, what that does is that it's very similar to the Glabro form, and you can only get it with the level 2 gift Man Spider. I think that's what it's called. But what it turns you into is a very hairy man or woman, 7 feet tall, super muscular, covered in stiff hairs like a tarantula.
That's kind of freaky.
And that's what that turns you into. So, yeah, very, very sexy indeed.
Yeah, we're not even getting into the powers of these forms, which is busted. Do you mind if I go in a little bit of tangent to this part?
Yeah, talk about it.
Okay, the thing is with spiders, we're going to get into this very closely, and the reason why spiders have such limited this power. The Nazi, as you know, are spiders, and they get supernatural venom. They can bite people and inject them with the venom.
Yes. And this
They
venom will
don't
deal aggravated damage that will never regenerate.
Sir, that's a 5-level gift.
Yes.
Don't you dare say that. Anyway, that's a very high level gift that you can get if you follow the worm.
Yeah, but that toxin that they gave you, it's aggravated damage, and it cannot be regenerated. You have to get that cured either medically or through a gift.
Yes.
Okay.
And they only get, like, you can see here, 5 doses of it. You're going to understand why when we get to the gifts, why they only have 5 doses of it max.
Yeah. This is why you want to make sure your bottle caps are screwed like Pepsi bottles to make sure that Ananasi hasn't been spitting in it.
Yeah, and here's another fun fact. They obviously have different forms, but it also says it's optionally if the DM and the player is okay with it. If you choose to play as a male or a chick, dude or a chick, your stats in your different forms change.
Right.
Because female spiders are bigger than male spiders.
Exactly.
Interesting.
Yeah. Who eats whose head again? So there we go. I love how twisted this is. And if you flip through the book, you'll see all the different Lillian forms and just how fucking creepy all these different forms are.
Yeah, like the one on page 75.
That.
74. Despite their lack of rage, Ananasi are very predatory, very compelling creatures that are able to use their predatory nature and even a healthy dose of pheromones to the best advantages, attracting members of the opposite sex. They have animal attraction straight off the bat.
Exactly.
Charisma and primal urge. Flat difficulty of 4. What the fuck? Literally a Black Widow.
We call femme fatales Black Widows for a reason, right?
Yes.
You know why I said why people always universally say, they're more attractive.
Yeah.
And speaking of the Lillian form, check out the Lillian form on page 64.
Page 64.
Yeah,
okay, hang on.
Yeah, some of these are nasty looking. Some of these are just nasty.
Yeah, let's
Cole,
see that.
How many
fuck that. What up?
You want to guess how many
dots? What page is that? 64?
How many what?
Yeah, 64.
How many dots of strength their webs have of the Anansi when they spin webs? You want to know how many strength?
Ooh.
How many pips?
9.
There we go.
What the fuck, Richard?
There we go. And there is one more secret form of the Ananasi. You want to know what happens when these two make? You want to know what happens when these two try and make a metis?
Oh no!
It doesn't make a metis. Instead, it makes. What was that?
In the name of. Hold on one.
Yeah. There we go. Somebody's casting a shamanistic spell. What you get is the Padron. You get this 6th unique form of the Ananasi that only exists in this form. You cannot get this form if you are spider-born or human-born. The Padron is this. It's described as being very similar to the giant spider form, but it's got a pair of legs specifically for grabbing people and eating people. And it's this big damn spider that has the same level of intelligence as a werewolf abomination. It just lives to kill. And
Jesus.
here's the thing. There is nothing saying you can't make this. Sometimes Ananasa wants you to make these because this makes for a fantastic soldier. You want to get this and turn it loose on the enemies of the triat, and then just watch what happens. So, yeah, this is a pretty dirty tactic that the Ananasi will do. But imagine the Padron chasing after you with the speed of 28 weeks later spider. No, it's 28 weeks later zombie. That's the this thing when it comes after you.
Page 54, I really like that artwork.
Yeah. There's a lot of good pictures in this book.
Yeah, really
the
good.
artwork
Actually,
is fantastic.
Now, the second part, which is my favorite, and this is the universal thing that says, "Fuck you, DM. I will not die." Their merits. I will cover 3 merits. You guys can pick your own, but I'm going to cover my 3 merits. Well, it's 2 merits and 1 flaw, if that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Here's 1 point. For 6 dots, gender morph. You can change your human sex at will. By breaking into the crawling form and reforming as a human again, this talent is very handy when being pursued. A few people normally confuse the male and female's bodies. Even your scent changes, and any ovid tracking you will likely think you're merely related to the were-spider that we're pursuing. Of course, that may not get off your hook in cases where the tracking shapeshifter doesn't mind using you as a hostage. Note this ability doesn't change gender, does not mean a racial change in both sex. Yeah, you turn into your opposite sex for 6 dots.
There we go.
And this is the.
You want to get that sex change surgery for free?
Yeah,
basically, yes. That's an expensive one, though.
Yeah, and the universal power for 7 dots of merits, 7 merit dots. You truly have a hive mind. Unlike other Anansi, you do not need to choose a leader or drones when you break into a crawling form. You retain your full consciousness while in this state throughout your individual spiders. The only way to truly destroy you will be to liberate every spider that's a part of your form. Even if one survives, you will retain your full memories.
There it is. You will never truly kill the Ananasi because they're just that spread out. You want to talk about how long it's going to take to exterminate the ratkin if you ever want to do a third war of rage. The Ananasi, that just ain't happening.
No.
It ain't happening.
Yeah. Yeah, and here's a 3-dot flaw, which fits the Anansi as we describe them. You have empathy. Unlike Anansi, you actually care for things. That's a flaw to the Anansi.
Right.
That's funny.
And you notice with that, with saying that.
So gender morph. So hold on. With gender morph, you could transform into either the male or the female bodies, but it doesn't say anything about being in between.
No hermaphrodites.
This isn't the fucking 2020s edition. This is older.
No. Well, now you may be wondering, with that lack of empathy, why haven't the Ananasi taken over the world already? Why haven't they succeeded in their mission to try it? The reason why is because you notice that these are beings that kind of lack empathy and don't really have associations with being normal. That the Ananasi aren't normal. And this has led to, how volatile a political disagreement can be in our current time, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Now, imagine that with creatures that don't say sorry and don't feel empathy. And that's what you've got. The Ananasi are all under the same banner. They're all under the same banner. They all agree that they gotta listen to Ananasa, unless they are Kumo or there's 2 other forms of Fallen, but we'll get to that in a minute. So it's their political disagreements, where this is the reason why that the Ananasi don't always go back to the cairn. It's because you gotta be around the other Ananasi, and you're getting in arguments with your other cast members. You're getting in arguments over the wild needs to be changed there, the wild needs to be better over there, no, the worm needs to be better over there, no, the weaver needs to be better, no, this needs to be better, we need to work with the ovid, no, we can't work with the ovid. Actually, it's called the fera, and now you got all these different back and forth disagreements between the Ananasi, and they just can't agree on anything anymore. Is that the minute that Ananasi is not giving them orders they completely fall apart because they can't stand being around each other. You think the Nuisha don't like being around other Nuisha? You think that Tremere are sick to death of other Tremere? No, it's never as bad as an Ananasi talking with another Ananasi.
But in Nazi culture, it'll be like this: you simply sit down next to your kin, eating the human that you just bagged in the web. You look at him, fuck you, Greg. Go back to eating.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, we'll get to it in relationships. Quite literally, every single Pharaoh breed, every single tribe of Garo, even some of the other ones, it is either use them, abuse them, and keep them at arm's length, and avoid if possible. Every single one is like that. That is just the Ananasi in a nutshell.
Because you know how objectively
what's that rule of acquisition is that treat customers like family. Exploit them.
Basically. That's the Ananasi.
Yeah, they're not nice people.
No.
Those are my 3 merits of / flaws. You guys got any you want to bring up?
Really, you brought the ones I was going to talk about. So, yeah, we're good on that aspect. Kyle, let's talk about relationships now.
All right,
Okay,
yes.
I'm back.
Hello.
Hello, Shanny again. We're talking about relationships.
Yes, relationship
Awesome.
time. So, let me remember where the hell I put them.
It is page 46.
Yep, give me one sec. Okay, so hang on. Oh, it took me to page 44. Anyway, so
Excuse me.
his own height. So with the changeling breed, there are honestly very little similarities between the Ananasi and all the other changelings. But don't immediately assume that one group or another will be friend or enemy. But most importantly, follow the wisdom of Ananasa on all of these tribes, because obviously she knows what's best for the Ananasi. It says in the book, should she tell you to befriend the ones we've just told you or your enemies, do so. Do not question her, for she knows what she is doing. The control freak nature, despite them being separated from the Weaver herself, still echoes true in the mindset of the Ananasi. So the Garo are sort of like nestled in between everything else, so I'm going to go through all the other Pharaoh breeds first and then talk about the Garo separately. Starting us off with the Bastet. So cats are very playful creatures, but the Bastet themselves lack the discipline in order to make worthwhile allies. Sometimes the Bastet are also very isolationist as well, so sometimes their mutual longing for solitude works in their favor. The Bastet throughout their history have suffered as much as the Ananasi, but unfortunately this long road of hardship has made the Bastet distressingly irrational and entirely undisciplined. Keep them at arm's length as you can. There are 8 tribes of them, but most of them, much like the Ananasi themselves, usually fight amongst each other. They claim to be wild and then walk the path of the worm too often for their own good. It says in the book, there seems to be no purpose to their fighting, no reason for their struggles against each other, save to finish the job that the Garo started. That's the Bastet in a nutshell.
And, well, really, you summed it up perfectly. I got nothing to add to that.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like a lot of that came straight out the book. That's the one thing I like about this book. It is a dense... Go ahead.
So, would this be a good reason why they decided to change the totem from cockroach to spider for the glasswalkers?
Yeah.
That could be. I mean, after all, cockroach could be guy is inside guy who's coming in.
I mean, when they created the worm, the were insects, wasn't like wouldn't there be like a were cockroach? Wouldn't like cockroach be like, hey, I like those guys?
That would make sense, right? Because after all,
but there are were cockroaches. They're just insane.
Is who's the totem? Who's driving the glassworkers closer and closer to the Weaver?
The glasswalkers.
Yep.
Cockroach.
Yep, it's all cockroach's fault.
Yep.
Wait, hold on. I thought they worshipped spider.
Yeah.
In 5th edition.
The glassworkers were doing that in 5th edition, and by that point, the glassworkers have fallen by that point.
Yeah.
They're
already fucked.
And I hate them for that.
Enjoy being a drone, you dumb bastards.
5th edition.
They ruin the get offenders, and they ruin.
They ruin
My
everything in
favorite
5th edition, but we've already been over that multiple times.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no. I know.
Yeah,
We
so
already did it 1 year later. We already
Yes.
spit enough venomacity.
yeah, but what I
And-
was saying earlier is that like while this book, The Ananasi, is a dense read, it is very, very informative because, like we said at the start of the video, this book is a lot of stuff that no other changeling has talked about. The only one that they don't have cogent information on is the Rokea, and that's just because they're fish. The Korax.
When was the last time we talked to a fish?
Exactly. Glub glub. The Korax. As the book says, if we have a true enemy amongst the changing breeds, it is the ravens. The birds eat spiders because they're tasty and delicious, and old racial fears do not die quickly. The ravens, however, very rarely ever view them as food. But the thing that really rubs the Ananasi the wrong way is the fact that the Korax have no respect for secrecy. The Ananasi, for their solitude and their secrecy, have no place for spies amongst their ranks. They never trust them, and they barely ever tolerate them. If you find a Korax is getting too close to you, find something to distract them. Throw some trinkets at them and leave, or start rumors of juicier secrets and spread them to the ones you know to speak with, all the other fucking Korax. So basically just lie to them about something else.
What if the Ananasi have to hide, huh?
Yeah.
Maybe if you give some of this important information about the triat and how, like, their past works, maybe they'll be more, maybe there wouldn't be less conflict.
Yeah, but
Snitch.
they see themselves as the heroes. They don't want anybody else taking the credit for uniting the triat and restoring the balance worm. So why would they tell anybody else about it?
This is our divine mission. You go off and you play your stupid game somewhere else.
Because everybody has the right to know.
The Korax are clever. They'll figure it out eventually.
Pretty much.
Yeah,
See, look, the Korax are my favorite Fera breed. If we do play a fucking Fera game, I'm either going to be a Gruul or a Korax, depending on where it is.
Because they're in London. They have the head, after all.
Yes.
You got the head, who's got all the information that he just pulls out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the name of that? What's the name of that? That camp? No, the camp of the information seekers of the Korax. The X-Files one.
Oh, I know the ones you're talking about, but I don't remember what they were called.
Oh, my tongue too. Shit. Oh.
I could go check the Korax notes I have real quick if you want me to find out.
Do you want me to talk about the changing breeds and amongst the wolves in that case?
Well, tell you what, I'll keep going with this. I'm going to skip the Garo for now and come back to them in a minute. Just do all the Fera breeds first. So next we have the Gruul. They actually respect the Gruul pretty to a point. They're very patient and understanding, and the Ananasi like that, and they're entertaining companions. If you're in the wilds and you find yourself with a Gruul, make the most of your time, enjoy the experience, remember what they have to say to you. The peaceful creatures can make for pleasant relations, and they are the epitome of peaceful because they're fucking harmless. Unless you piss them off. And it's nice to know that not all of the changeling feel the need to kill first and ask questions later. But they also have made a name for themselves as creatures that understand the better part of valor. When was the last time a girl was seen as a threat?
Yeah, not that you're ever going to have to worry about them because they're on their little nappies and their little diapies. With little rattles in one hand and a baby bottle in the other.
Until I make Borislav Alexiv.
Yeah. Gaia, where's my grilled cheese? Where's my grilled cheese, mommy?
You make fun of my kennel you like.
My nuggies.
You make fun of my kennel you like. I assure you, I subscribe to no such niceties.
You keep mocking the girl, but the moment a girl says I'm angry, you start running.
Exactly. When he gets on his hind legs, you're fucked.
You just need to stop crying first.
Yes.
What sits on you, that's all.
The Macaulay. The Macaulay are the eldest of all the changeling breeds. Their primal, raw power, a force of nature that is beautiful to behold. It's very, very rare that they'll ever speak with them, but they share their time on this world. There is an unspoken respect that they hold for them, but they fear that their lands slowly dissipate and they may not survive. As we know, the Macaulay are the memory of Gaia, and when when they do eventually die out, then the loss of all that information will be drastic even. The Ananasi's, unless the Ananasi's plans to restore the balance room come to fruition, you know.
Well, after all, you do have Queen Ananasa, who supposedly knows all this already.
Yes,
So-
but, you know, nobody else is going to know that.
It's also going to be that only one source of information, not the multiple eyes and perspectives of the Macaulay.
Yes. Having a unified, there is something to be said about having a unified history, but it's also good to have other perspectives, hence why all the tribe books are so important in their own way. Next we have our good buddy Danston coming in with the Noisha. They're lighter creatures, but they're very close to the Garrow, and they're far more wise than they'd like to let the Ananasi onto, but they don't fool them any. Don't trust them, avoid them if you can, and destroy them if you must. Like the Korax, they also look for secrets, but the only difference is the Noisha can actually hold a secret. Occasionally, they are pleasant and helpful, but do not tell them anything you consider important.
We'll make fun of it.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
After all, we now have an explanation as to why Coyote is around Luna all the time if Luna hates him so much. Is because the Weaver just killed every single friend Luna ever had, and now Coyote is the only thing in her life.
Exactly.
It's that friend that you just hate to be around, but then you realize if you cut things off with them, you'll be alone.
Yeah, basically.
That's a sad way.
Yeah,
It is. It really is.
You wonder why Luna is so capricious and prickly. You
Yeah.
wonder why.
Well, a lot of shit dies under her watch, so I can't blame her. Anyway, so then we
Rats.
have the Ratkin. There are too many creatures that seek to know the secrets of others, and the Ratkin are beneath all of it. So the Ananasi are a very prideful race. They pride themselves on the strength, their size, but the Ratkin are just pathetic. They live off of shit and waste. You can't trust them. They're disgusting. They smell terrible, but they are incredibly numerous. Just as there's spiders everywhere, there are also rats everywhere. Rats are survivors. They multiply, they fester, and it's possible that they also understand the power of the Weaver, and that they too fight against grandmother spiders in same methods. So while they are disgusting and terrible to work with, their wild nature does give them one redeeming quality at least.
They're
And
going to
then-
screw up on you if they catch you saying this about them.
Yes, and then finally the Rokia. They're fish. They're older than a lot of them and understand a lot, but you don't need to fear or avoid them because you'll never see one. That's it.
Is after all, they're fish. When was the last time you saw a seafaring spider?
Yes, exactly. On a boat. How about that? It's like the picture of
There are
somebody.
spiders
spider-
underwater.
Yeah.
The octopus
they?
does not count.
But
Yep.
Yeah,
I
why would a
guess.
spider need to go in the much
The
less
water.
the ocean?
Yeah.
Now then, the other, my bad, the Garou.
They have nothing nice to say
Yes.
about them.
They quite
They have
literally have
nothing
nothing
nice.
nice to say about any of the Garou. They even start off the section. They say they're killers and barbarians. They play civilization, but are only beginning to understand what the word means. They don't hold grudges, but they don't forgive past indiscretions. Even in the end of their era, they're far too numerous to avoid completely and too violent to associate with on a regular basis. However, the children of Gaia try to bring peace among the tribes, but they're fucking terrible at it. The Glasswalkers return to the Weaver in an effort to suppress the more wild tendencies, but all they've done is gone further than they can ever comprehend. They unleash new ways of dealing with the worm by seeing into the Weaver's eyes, but then the worm is a thrall to the Weaver, so by the time they find out what the hell is going on, they're going to be slaves. And there's going to be a lot of different things, and none of them are positive. Starting off with the Black Furies. So the Furies believe in a matriarchal society, and there's rumors that the Ananasi are so as well. It is true to an extent. As often as not, it is the females that are in the leading roles in the Ananasi. in the rare occasion that they do gather numerously, but there is no truth to the notion that only the females can take command. The only female guaranteed to position of power over any of us is Ananasa herself. And if the Black Furies want to go on believing that they're kindred spirits in philosophy, there's no reason to disillusion them.
Ryan, you've seen what's wrong with that sentence, right? You've seen what's wrong with that, right? You see
What?
that?
Which one?
You see that? That a matriarchal society is criticizing another matriarchal society for being matriarchal.
Yeah, basically.
Hold on now.
It's really funny.
Just a little bit.
They only criticized it because they put females only on top. Like I said before, they're more caste and matriarchal.
Who eats whose head among spiders?
Yeah, the female will eat the male's head.
The female eats the male's head.
Yeah. So what you talking about, Ananasi?
Basically,
Your men
yes.
don't have any rights either.
They don't.
Are you sure they aren't worm? After all, the worm eats itself.
Hold on. I got one way to invalidate that whole entire thing. The mare to change their gender.
Well, there we go.
Oh, okay. Moving on from that, we have the Black Spirals.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Every reason to not follow the triat is displayed by the Black Spirals. They're mentally diseased, usually physically blighted. They fall into all the corruptive influences of cosmic power gone mad. If you can, take advantage of them. Otherwise, avoid them. That's it.
Yeah, go ahead and wave the big worm pocket watch in front of their eyes. See how quickly they fall to your will.
Basically,
say,
yes.
a spider can't tell me what to do. Oh, that's going to help me with the worm? Oh, yeah, I'll just go ahead and do it.
Yeah, there
the
you
Black
go.
Spiral Dancer, he's an idiot. He's an idiot. This entire tribe of idiots.
They are not very intelligent creatures.
You were all white howlers in a previous life.
Yes, you're all honorable people, and then you decided to fuck yourselves.
After all, you're a big drug addicts. You didn't realize just how badly your addiction was getting until it was too late.
Basically, yes. Anyway, so then we have the Bonars. Excluding the Black Spirals, they are the lowest of the werewolf society. They're kind of humans, they watch over, are generous to a fault, they're easy to work with, and then they're treated like dogs. Use that to your advantage because many of them resent all the mistreatment. A little bit of information can raise their esteem, and that goes a long way to winning you a very useful pawn in the future. But they are still werewolves. Do not trust them because they can still betray you.
They'll just flip their shit and then go off into a frenzy and tear you apart.
Yeah, they basically end every tribe by saying that. Even surprisingly enough, the children of Gaia. Somewhere along the way, some of the werewolves decided it was time to play nice, and it was likely after they finished trying to kill all the other Ovid. They imagine it's just an overdeveloped sense of guilt, which it is to an extent, or maybe they felt it was the best way to avoid getting torn in half next time they found somebody who survived the War of Rage. In either case, they are gentler, but they'll smile and make you feel at home before they try to kill you. Just play nice and then get out of there as soon as you can. Maybe a little good PR will come out of that.
Because after all, they're going to tell everybody in the Garo Nation at the next moot about the new spider people that they're talking to. The what?
Exactly.
And then, they're going to have a massive problem.
Yes.
Coming your way.
And then here come my boys, the Fianna, or warriors. And more often than not, they're capable of remaining honorable. Just don't annoy them. Keep them alive because they'll remember it. They are best avoided when they've been drinking, which is most of the time. Yes. Fianna, as the Irish, hold grudges. They're very good at holding grudges. So don't fuck with them because they'll remember your name and your face and then kick the shit out of you.
Yeah, what do you think Texas is so grudge heavy? They're from Irish immigrants.
Yes, absolutely.
Tyler, remember the time you drank the swamp mucus through a straw? And you said you started seeing spiders everywhere? You gotta tell me more about that event.
I tried to resist toxin, it didn't work. I just wanted them to get off of my arms. It was really, really scary.
That'd be the best way to get out of a situation with a Fianna. Just liquor him the fuck up or get him on some sort of hard drug. And just hope his memory will be blitzed when he wakes up.
Yeah, it sounds
Hey,
about
listen,
right.
Deanna, I can make you a beer made out of spider fin. You want to try it?
I mean, there is the fucking what the hell is going
a
on
hell
over
of a
there,
bed.
Shan?
This is a hell of a
Sorry,
bed.
my sis.
Bro, you need to find yourself an office, my man. Real.
That was.
Yeah, I wasn't
that
gonna
was
bring it up, but there was a bunch of pots and panty in this one moment. I was like, "Come on, man."
Yeah. This is a professional show. No, it's all
There's nothing
good.
professional about this.
No, there isn't.
I'm sorry.
It's all
It's either
good.
go in the living room or go outside, and neither of them are good options.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
there's
doesn't
a
sound like it.
thunderstorm going on outside.
Okay.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
talk when you're not so loud.
It's all good.
Yeah.
So,
Besides, it's muggy.
yeah, it really is. It was humid as shit today. Next we have the Get Ephemeris. Calling the Get
Boys.
Calling the Get homicidal maniacs is an insult to other homicidal maniacs. They think it is their sacred duty to kill everything they look at. And if they think you're weak and they think everything is weak, will challenge you to a fight. Sometimes they'll make like a whole affair out of it and play fair and follow the rules. In which case you can expect them to do everything they can to kill you as slowly and painfully as possible. Other times they'll just rip your fucking throat out. Don't trust them. Sooner or later... What's up?
They hate
Ananasi
us
culture.
because they ain't us.
That's the whole thing.
Yeah.
The Ananasi will not do a fair fight like the Get Ephemeris do. The Get Ephemeris say, it's our way, we're dueling, this is how it's happening, I'm going to farm that glory renown. The Ananasi says, and they're just going to shift in, they're going to immediately get out of that fight by any means necessary.
Yep.
And Ananasi...
As cowards do.
Yeah, they...
the Get Ephemeris are old man Samurai Jack.
They will not go into a fight unless they know they can win that fight.
Exactly.
You can say that's cowardice, but to the Ananasi, that's self-preservation.
Yep. Survival
I don't
is
know.
more important.
Sounds like a bunch of worm propaganda to me.
Thank you, Ryan.
Honestly, one word is do not make them call for backup because the moment they do, you get surrounded by 50 were spiders.
Because after all, what is their renown? It's obedience, cunning, and wisdom.
Yeah, the Anansi, or very much so, it doesn't matter what happens to us. It matters what Mother Goddess told us to do. And if Mother Goddess told us to sacrifice our head shall roll.
Yeah.
So they're a bunch of bitches.
Yes.
Bend the knee and do what you're told.
Yeah.
Look,
Yeah.
we
But also
tried
make it
bending
really
the knee, and look what the fuck happened to us. Take it from us. Don't fucking try to follow anyone.
Well, Queen Anansi isn't inbred though. That's the thing.
Yeah.
You're not listening to the Silverfangs on this one.
Absolutely not. No.
Anyway, Glasswalker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Glasswalkers. So, some people aren't satisfied if they aren't trying something new. For the Glasswalkers, they decided to try and help preserve wild places and have some control of the cities of where the cities get built. They have walked away from the wild, and now they dwell in the lair of the Weaver. They're confused and disoriented, and more importantly, they're turning to the Weaver for guidance, and they'll fall into Grandmother Spider's web before long. They make very good pawns, but understand that they are truly abysmally stupid. Being as thick as they are means they're dangerous.
And there's a thing with the Glassworkers book where they remark that they're seeing more and more spiders inside their cairns and office buildings. So one of two things. Either that means the Glassworkers are on the verge of falling to the Weaver, which they are, and the Ananasi are about to pull them out of it, or the Ananasi are pushing the Glassworkers as a tribe further into the Weaver's arms.
Or three, they're just watching the fall and enjoying it.
Basically. So,
And
well, I mean, the Glasswalkers have no shred of empathy for the Garo in general, so I don't and they're not Weaver aligned per se, so they would more than likely just watch it go down and document how it happened.
and then use it as an excuse for purging that.
Yes, pretty much. The Red Talons, they're irrational, they're in pain, and they're dying at a very dangerous pace, and they're just shy of being rabid. Avoid them. That's it.
Realign them on Ananasi. Do what you're supposed to do. Don't let these guys die.
No.
No. Save them.
Absolutely not. Not in a million years.
They're all biscuits.
Yes.
This is the most unaligned tribe, and you're not doing anything to align them.
Basically, yeah.
Look.
That's not their job. It's part of their knowledge.
Help these guys.
No,
Hold
on.
Ananasa didn't
This
say
is why-
do it, so we're not going to.
The Ananasi has no empathy. They fucking suck. They're a bunch of just robots. Why are they the good guys?
Drones. There we go.
It reminds me, honestly, talking about the Ananasi reminds me of the Skaven in an odd way. They've got no shred of empathy, no sense of honor, and anything that goes wrong is somebody else's fault.
Hold on. Everyone chill. You're insulting the spiders now. You can say all this shit.
I can
but at
insult
the end
whoever
of
I
the
want.
day, they only have 3 flaws. Everybody else has 20.
I've got like 3 spiders in my room, so I'm just gonna opt to stay out of this.
Got the guts sweating. They called for backup.
Yeah, they only have 3 flaws. 1, obedience. 2, their empathy. And 3, it just depends on the individual. While everybody else has 5.
And then,
They're also ugly.
Yeah, it's true.
and then
Dude, animal attraction. What did I just say?
Okay, first off,
I don't care
It's
how
my-
sexy they. I don't care
Hey,
how
hot take.
sexy he looks in a human form. It's still a freaking spider, and it's freaky.
the cocaine spider
Also-
said, "Building a web is for suckers," and popped a cap in the head of the marijuana spider.
What the fuck?
also, hot take right here. Hot take. Goth chicks are only hot with their clothes on.
Is that
Hold on,
true?
now. Hold on.
The minute you take him off, it's a skeleton.
Hear me out. They
What?
have black lipstick on. Just no, I'm not gonna finish this.
Oh man.
Because I'm right.
Well,
Tell us how you
no.
really feel.
You gotta find a fat goth chick. That'll resolve all of your issues.
No.
As soon as they take their clothes off, they're just a regular fat chick.
Hold on. Now,
And there's
we
nothing
all
wrong with
talk,
that.
but
How do we
don't
get on
absolutely
this?
not.
Everyone, before you start-
Absolutely not. There's something wrong with it.
Chick, I like women with freckles. Let's end that right there. It's freckles
How did
for
we
me all
get
the
here?
way.
How did we start talking about this?
It was the Nuisha who did it.
Yeah, blame Danston. It's Danston's fault.
It 100% is his fault.
Shadow Lords.
Shadow Lords. Speaking of goth chick, Shadow Lords.
We haven't even fucking gifts yet. Dear God.
No, we haven't. We got time. Don't worry about it. Someone decided
Alright,
that being subtle is better than being straightforward, and that's a lesson that the Ananasi had learned ages ago, but the Shadow Lords are learning at a rather tremendous rate. They are very studious pupils, and they're closer to true skill at subterfuge than the Ananasi would like to see. Do not ever turn your back on a Shadow Lord. And never reveal anything of significance to them. They are as untrustworthy as an agitated snake. Don't trust the Shadow Lords. Ever.
Well, that's just wisdom in general.
Yes, that's General Garrow know-how. Fuck the Shadow Lords.
Yes.
The Silent Striders. Not a whole lot on the Silent Striders. It's unusual to find Garrow who prefer to walk alone. And they're very contemplative and wise, but sadly there are still Garrow and can't be trusted. They want to like the Silent Striders, but they know they're still werewolves.
'Cause after all, the Silent Stars are objectively good people.
Yes.
Objectively.
It's also why they might be kind of my least favorite tribe, because they're just, Kyle, I know you love them, but to me they're just too good as people.
That's
You
why
know
I
what's
like
up here?
them.
They're one of
Yeah.
they're one of my
goody
favorite
two-shoes for
tribes.
ya.
Yeah,
I had that conversation with Rap Red where
They're too decent for you, Johnny. Wow.
Yeah,
Johnny
they
likes
get
flawed
free.
characters.
I
guess you're
love.
a fan of Superman comics,
That's
huh?
fine.
Yeah, I'm more of a Batman kind of guy. I kind of like Superman.
There's 2 things you can say about the Silent Striders. 1, all that walking gave them the thighs of God, and 2, they're the salubri of fucking. They're the salubris.
Yeah,
They're the
that right.
Salubria Garrow.
Are
I
you
like the
just love
Silent
the idea
Striders.
of-
They're
travelers.
cool. They travel the world. They see all the cool shit. Unlock the mysteries
Exactly.
of their past. They're
And
they
mysterious, but they're
travel
also
all
kind of
over the-
friendly.
Hold on, and they can
Traveling
crush
all
your
over the
head
world
with
and fighting cool stuff. They're like Indiana Jones.
That's why
Yeah.
I made
They
Kendi.
eat brains.
That is 100% of the reason why I
Only
made
some
Kendi.
of them.
The brain eating works though. You get the information you're looking from eating the brain.
Yes,
And
but
it's-
then
yes,
you,
and
you stand at risk
and you
for
go
corruption.
crazy, and that's their dirty little secret.
I don't care if I get
Okay,
the flesh-eating prawn from it. I got the information I need.
You're gonna end
Cole,
up like
Cole,
RFK
yeah,
Jr. What?
Silver Fangs.
Yes.
Getting lost again.
Yeah, Silver Fangs, the self-proclaimed rulers of the Garrow. The Silver Fangs are the creatures that decided that all the other Ovid had a few marbles loose and tried to kill every single one of them. They're so inbred and paranoid that they can't even trust their own reflections. Stay away from them, obviously.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Who do you think they trust more, the Shellords or the Silver Fangs?
probably neither. Well, I mean, at least a Shadow Lord can occasionally be, rational, and you can get some good secrets off of them. The Silver Fangs are just fucking insane.
You can talk to a Shellord.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then the Stargazers.
Shadow Lord you can trust
Yes.
a Shadow Lord you can trust to actually be logical.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Stargazers. They seek all the answers to life enigmas, but then when they eventually find the answer, they decide that it's all wrong and they ask the wrong question in the first place. If you have to talk with them, speak only in riddles. It's the best way to keep them too busy thinking for them to use their claws. Which, yeah, makes sense.
Stargazers, we thank you. You realized a whole bunch of enigmas. You found a lot of stuff out that nobody else knew.
Now start telling people this.
Yeah, now it's time to nut up and actually fight.
Yes. Then the Ictena. The Ictena have their hearts in the right place, but they're not equipped to do what they're setting out to do. They want to see the worm captured and suppressed rather than cured and freed. And they haven't even figured out that they're not walking the right path to solving their problems. And of course, the Ananasi aren't going to fucking do anything to help, the useless bastards. And they're just going to sit around and hope that the Ictena figured it out for themselves.
Where the Ictena probably have already. They've got multiple contingency plans as to how to solve the apocalypse.
Yes, I'm going to drag fucking Cthulhu up from the Mariana Trench and have him fight the worm.
See,
Perfect.
the relationship portion is kind of pointless because the Ananasi see themselves as perfect beings. So
They
all
are
the
perfect
relationship,
beings.
Everyone
Yes.
here, though.
so they say, and so basically everything is either fuck these guys or you're nice, but that's basically
Exactly.
the relationship.
Well, they
with
have no
everybody else.
empathy.
You can't
That's
really
part of
use
their...
that because every tribe does that too. You can't really say that because
Yeah.
everyone does that.
The point is, unless you find a profile of a spider, they're gonna swipe left on everybody.
Yeah.
But they don't even like the spiders too. They argue with each other all the time.
The Ananasi and
So
the Garrow
basically-
are natural enemies, just like the Ananasi and the Korax, the Ananasi and the Ratkin, and the Ananasi and the Ananasi. Those damn Ananasi, ruining it for the other Ananasi.
So how do you fight an Ananasi? Just show them a mirror and they'll fall in love with it.
They do have something new to say about the Wendigo because they finally dropped the fucking cannibalism shit that everyone wants to bring up with the Wendigo.
Yes.
Instead, they say that the reason they're so spiteful is because they got their homes taken from them and none of their other tribes actually came to help them
Yes.
because they were too busy trying to take the land for themselves. This is the reason why the Wendigo don't trust anyone, and this is a better explanation, and this is just better than every other tribe book because
Yeah.
instead of that whole
Yeah, but
cannibalism shit.
They
Taking a
got
quote,
trust issues.
taking a quote straight from the Silent Strider book, though, is that at least you guys still have a chance to get your home back.
Yes.
Honestly,
Which
yes.
is why the Wendigo are so incredibly prickly, because all the money needs to be funneled to Nunavut in order to create the giant ice castle from Frozen that will withstand the
also-
apocalypse.
Hey man,
To
that
break-
ice castle is
Yes.
huge,
Yeah.
and it'll be able
Yeah.
to stop all the White Walkers from getting over to our side.
Perfect.
Yes.
To break the glass ceiling and go to fourth wall. The Native American population of America will never recover, but it's never going to decrease if the Native American population is going to remain perpetually small because of what the shit happened.
Because of
Yeah.
all
It's
the
not
shit
gonna
we
go
did in the
extinct.
past.
Mhm.
Break
Yes,
the glass
some
ceiling and
people-
golden parachute on down.
Yes,
Yep.
certain Native American tribes are going to go bye-bye because they were too small to begin with, and their
Mhm.
language is too, which is sad. All I
Yeah.
gotta say is, don't exterminate us everything to the new land. Anyway, back to game.
Yep.
And now we're seeing it with the Rohingya, and we're seeing it with the
Shadows of the highly
Uyghurs.
infected camp.
Yep.
All right,
I
so
love
Hey,
that
hey, hey.
cleansing.
I
Oh,
said back to
Oh,
real
this
life.
burning beard.
yeah, that was me and Danston being Clutch fans. So
Oh, yeah?
humans, The humans are both your greatest enemy and your greatest ally at the same time. No other creature shows such a range of emotion and possibility. Humans are necessary to the way of life of the Ananasi, and they'll be around while the Ananasi are around. When the goals have been reached and the balance worm is restored, the humans will be here to help and provide what they need to continue the role in the Great Mother's plan. So,
Yes. Now, if we could immediately go into vampires after you just said that.
yes,
Mages
well,
first.
there's mages and then there's vampires, but there's
But,
a
no,
lot.
hold on, hold on. I'm making a point here. Going to vampires.
There's a lot we need to talk about with the vampires. And even this paragraph starts off, there are no others that we understand as completely as the vampire. They both know the thrill of blood, the worthiness of patience. They're the perfect disguise and the ultimate tool. What better way to find someone to aid you than to convince someone that you are one of their own? The catch with vampires is they try to be a bit too much like the Ananasi. They're very good at large-scale manipulation games. They know that the smallest pawn can become a valuable ally in the right spot. And they are cold and heartless. Do not trust them any more than you would trust a Garrow, but use them as much as you can. Even though they will try, they will eventually turn and try to eat you. It's in their nature to betray one another, as we've seen from every other vampire clan we've talked about so far. So don't feed them, show them the food, and let them eat. They are known for killing their creators, stealing the strength of their progenitors for themselves, and in light of their own cannibalistic methods, they're not so dissimilar to the Ananasi. They should honestly be grateful that the vampires can't feed from the Ananasi because it's too alien for them to ingest. There is a lot in common with the Ananasi and the vampires.
And this is where I want to bring up I'll combine this with our missing splat segment. You notice just how many similarities there are between the Ananasi and the vampires. And
Too many.
You remember I told you about the Kuei Jin?
Yes.
And that was vampire mixed with mage, mixed with wraith, mixed with werewolf, with its own character sheet that had 7 different meters you had to keep track of. This does what the Kuei Jin do, but better. Where you combine 2 games. This is a almost perfect union between vampire and werewolf. You want to know how to play an Ananasi? Play it the way you would a vampire. That's how you're supposed to do it.
Yes.
But you notice the similarities and differences they have with the different clans. Because the first one, the obvious one to me, is the Assamites, with the caste system and their job as hitmen. Because after all, if an Ananasi comes around and you mention their name or you witness them, you disappear off the street.
Yes.
The Ananasi want to be secret, and they're not going to show another changing form, any other form besides Hamid. They want to keep that secrecy up.
We never actually went to what their venom actually does.
Yeah, same thing with that venom or that animalism power. You notice they've got some similarities with the Gangrel, right?
Oh, look at that. Well, I mean, there is also that one tribe of African Gangrel that were were spiders, kind
the
of.
The Akunase.
Yes.
Now keep this in mind. The Akunase start off in North Africa. What other changing breeds start off in the same spot? The Ananasi. They also start in Africa. And with the Akunase, they use a Ghanaian myth of the spiders being Prometheus. That it was a spider who went up into heaven, spoke with the gods, tricked the gods into giving him a puzzle box. And he comes back with this box, and he opens up the box that has all these different prizes inside of it and shares it with all the animals and all the humans. That's the myth that the Akunase use to explain their own existence. But at the same time, the Akunase were an offshoot of the same clan that would create their version of the Nosferatu in the Ebony Kingdom. They came from those 2 tribes. Their version of the Gangrel and their version of the Nosferatu come from the same bloodline and then split. And you also notice that too with the similarities between the Ananasi and the Nosferatu, because how painful that first change is compared to how painful the embrace is with the Nosferatu, along with just how disturbing both of them can be and how much and what they can look like. And along with that, the whole animalism trait, because you know the spawning pools with the Nosferatu, them creating pools of water that they're going to feed to insects.
Yes.
And how similar that is to what the Ananasi can do with their own bodies and split them up in the crawling form.
Yes.
And things like that. And there's one more tribe that they have similarities to. Can you read my mind as to what I'm thinking about?
Wouldn't be the Zamichi, would it?
Not them.
Oh, you mean
Venture?
clan, not tribe?
Yeah, what clan they have similarities to.
Venture?
No.
The Naga? Oh, clan, not tribe. What am I talking about?
Clan Ravnos.
Really?
Oh,
Yeah.
I see. I can't see it.
Because
Well, I
after
can't see
all,
it either.
yeah, because after all, it's a
oh
it's
yeah,
a,
I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Ravnos.
because after all, it's a tribe that start off with having a divine mission, and then their own infighting fractured the clan into the East and West Ravnos, and then the West Ravnos fell into degeneracy where none of them can get along with anyone, resulting in the complete fracturing of a clan that basically has no culture or no defined leadership, besides your antediluvian. In that case, it would be Ananasa. And at the same time, the Ananasi don't always stay in one place because you constantly switch back and forth between where you're living. You can switch between living in the woods and living in a city. You get benefits from doing both. Typically, they want to live out in woods because nothing is going to bother them out in the woods besides another changing breed. And even so, they can easily outmaneuver them.
Oh, yeah.
But in the city, they're operating the exact same way the city gangrel do in terms of how they haunt and how they make havens. So
Yes.
this is a perfect synthesis between vampire and werewolf. In
It's
this
just
book.
unlike vampires, so not so suicidal to the nth degree.
And they can work with each other, but that caste system just keeps getting in the way. I like that this is a deconstruction of the chosen one, because you have this divine mission that you and only you can do, but there's not just a chosen one, there's chosen ones, and sometimes your missions conflict with each other, resulting in an entire culture of chosen people falling apart.
Yeah, that is
And
a
that's
really
what-
interesting, it almost sounds like
And
an
same thing with
apocalypse
the-
scenario in of itself.
Same thing with their obsession with perfectionism. That is why they're so fractured as a clan and why they can't really rebuild themselves, because I'm not wrong, you're wrong, and every single Ananasi says about each other.
Yeah. And that's the biggest flaw is all the infighting between each other. It's like they have this great divine mission and they really can't follow through on it all the way because they just straight up fucking refuse to work with each other.
And what I like about this more, it's not like, ooh, I'm angry or I'm angsty or I'm in love. It's more like your ideals are different than my ideals.
Exactly.
Yeah, mage paradigms getting in the way of each other.
Speaking of mages, we have mages here. They weave magic as if it were their own. They're beautiful to comprehend and terrible to behold, but they make incredible allies. If you can keep one near you, they can do all kinds of wild shit you have never seen before in your life. But the ways that they do it are both drastic and dangerous. They are unwilling servants of the Weaver, and should the need arise, you might need to destroy them. Just be very, very careful. Use one when you can, but there's no guarantee that they will be able to function.
Yeah. Here's one unique thing. We're gonna get to this in the gifts, but the Ananasi actually understand how mages work across the board.
Yeah, and good fucking luck jumping a mage too.
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
the point is the Ananasi can understand mages on a fundamental level, which the mages don't understand themselves, which is, like I said before, we'll get into that when we get into a certain Weaver's power system.
Yes, and then
Sounds like Ananasi are jealous of the mages. They can do so,
a little
so
bit.
much with the Weaver. Fuck
Not
these
really.
guys. Yeah, they're saying so many great things about them, and then they're like, "Fuck them, kill them."
Because after all, the technocratic union exists.
that would be major limiting factor.
The League definitely has a hateful
And then finally, we have wraiths. Sometimes the dead don't rest easily. They fail to find peace because something done to them by the Ovid. Kill them only when necessary, or you might discover that they come back for revenge. The biggest problem with ghosts is that they are very, very hard to kill. But they can be useful for information, because the dead can go places where even the Ananasi can get to. So don't avoid killing them if you can. Use them whenever possible.
All right. And
Now, we
you
forgot
notice
to
that
bring these up. Sorry.
changelings
We
and
got-
hunters are both missing.
Not
Yeah,
just
well, they
that, the Naga are missing.
You notice that. The Naga know about the Ananasi, but the Ananasi don't know about them. Good catch.
Exactly.
I was actually going to ask that.
Yeah. As it turns
Or
out,
it could literally just been a book error where one book comes up before the other.
I'm wondering, like, can the Ananasi even think the changelings even exists? Because if they lack empathy, can they even do they have like banality or something like that?
they are deeply autumnal.
It's okay. I'm of this opinion. The Anansi are either very banal or very glamour rich, depending on what their job is.
Mhm. If you're wild aligned, then that's going to be a lot of glamour coming from you because directly communing with the wild can have horrible effects on your mind.
Yes, because the wild one, they don't necessarily need to have the motions themselves. They just need to be a source of inspiration.
Right. So how are they? Yeah, but if they're aligned with the wild, and if their job is to kind of like balance the wild, that's so That's so an oxymoron because it doesn't make any sense because you can't balance. What exactly are they? You can't balance the wild. You can't facilitate the wild. You can't mediate the wild. So
Well,
someone.
Dude,
the
dude,
wild
you're
is
getting
getting
a
his
little bit
ass
too
kicked
far.
in all this because the
Yeah.
reason why the Gero are sided with the wild is because the wild is losing the triac fight. The wild is
Yeah.
imbalanced because the wild is the weakest of all of it. So if you have an Ananasi that's aligned with the wild, they're trying to strengthen the wild wherever they are. Because after all, we're getting less and less wild places.
You're looking at it a little bit
Kiss
too
my
narrow.
ass. As far as I'm concerned, I think it's the most powerful.
Yeah,
Because
no,
it
you're
can't
looking at it a little bit
die.
too narrative when you described how they bind it. They're not binding it. They're just trying to bring the wild into controlled areas. That's not what the wild is, but what you don't want the wild to be over controlled. It's like you don't want the weaver or the worm to be over controlled. That's basically what they're doing. They're limiting their influence as much as
The
possible
more
without
the
worm.
more the weaver tightened its grip, the more the wild will slip through its fingers.
Yes.
Yeah, you're looking at about this too metaphysically.
And
Well, I mean, that would be the part of it to look at on a metaphysical level if that's the case, because that'd be the discussion of spirits and how they interact.
because I'm also
But
thinking
probably
about the
We'll
imbued.
probably have to think about this like it's also a thing probably to discuss during when you do like the triad video as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we haven't even done a video on the spirits yet. Oh, and that's gonna be a fucking
That's gonna be
Video.
a doozy of a video.
Oh yeah, I want to be there for the triad video and that spirit video.
Yep.
Because
So-
let me
you know
bring
what?
up the imbued.
Yes.
Because how do you think the Ananasi are going to react to a different chosen where it turns out, oh, you didn't even consider that god with a capital G is in the picture.
They
And
didn't, because they thought they were there before that. No, you were not.
And he's going around blessing people with these divine powers where
That'll blow their minds.
you've got curse technique red, blue, and hollow purple. That's a mechanic in the game. I'm telling you, you read Fall from Grace, Hunter the Reckoning, the divine hunter cremate ability literally is hollow purple when you read that
It
ability.
is for undead. If, in my opinion, I would describe the Nazi's opinion to reaction to this. They'd be like, "Huh, God actually does exist. Well, that changes our plans anyway."
Now you've got to create a fourth cast.
Yes.
Oh God, I don't want to imagine a Nazi with God powers. That sounds actually scary.
That'd be
There we go.
terrifying.
And at the end of, I'm a little bit baffled as to why this is at the end of relationships. We have a little litany.
Yes.
We have just a little litany. Shanny, I sent you the litany.
Just a little bit. Just
It'll
a
be-
little tiny bit.
Just a tip.
Law number 1: obey the Mother Queen in all things.
Mm-hmm.
Her
Makes
will
sense.
her will is what has taken us this far in our sacred quest to restore the triad. So listen to Queen Ananasa because she knows all and you know nothing.
Yeah, you want to talk about the girl being mother's boys.
Mommy knows best.
Well,
Hold on. Mommy milk.
Well,
No.
I guess this would make the Ananasi more like extreme monarchist instead, though. Because
In
Yeah,
a
it makes
sense,
sense.
yeah, they are
Sure.
deeply in the blue quadrant of the political compass.
Yes, indeed.
All right.
to be
Law
honest
number
here,
2.
if I would actually vote for a Nazi government because our fucking people in the U.S. are dipshits.
I'd rather be ruled by spiders than Joe Biden.
No.
At
See,
least
what-
at the end of the day,
To
it's
have
gonna
the
be official.
Ananasi eat Joe Biden.
There we
No,
go.
no, that's gonna be bad for their stomach.
You're eating nothing but sawdust.
The
Number 2.
Nazi that eats Joe Biden is gonna be like, how does blood taste dry?
Yeah. His motherfucker
Defend-
crunchy, bro.
Defend your brethren from all who would do them harm.
Like
Even
I said,
yourself?
So yeah, even though we fight, we fuss, but we're still family and we have to protect each other.
Yeah, that means if you jump on, you better hope that's one by himself, or you're about to die.
Yeah.
This
Oh,
is
yeah.
this is the
You'll have the
Ananasi
entire
eating Joe
cast.
Biden in studio notes over here.
Yeah, there we go.
Girl, I hate you. I don't want to destroy and eat your corpse, but I'll defend you. Like,
You're not supposed to kill each other because Ananasi says do not do that. Well, Ananasi do is that they don't go out and kill each other. They agree to disagree and then hate each other for the rest of their lives.
Yeah, like I said before, they're like vampires in the sense where they will fight and kill each other, but will not do too much that would destroy each other's territory.
Right.
Or
Man,
destroy
this-
each other's thoughts of each other.
man, this is the DMC.
Because we only understand each other. No one understands better than we understand each other.
No one
Anyway,
understands this.
We skipped over this part, but
It's
there's special
the uni
abilities
party.
before we get to the gifts. Let me go off this part where you guys pick the gifts you want to focus on. Let me
I'm
go over
picking
this.
gifts as well as.
Well, Ryan's got
Wait.
gifts as well.
Yeah,
Wait, we're,
number-
we're still going over the litany, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
We are?
Number,
Oh,
next
okay.
one is
Yeah, we're
follow
going
the
over the litany
aspect
still.
infection that, and then
Ananasi chooses for you.
Let me see if I can find the litany.
Yeah, it's on page
49.
page 49, yeah.
49
Yeah.
and 49 and 50.
So yeah, basically bend the knee, slave. Do what you're told. Don't stand after caste.
stay in the kitchen. You're a cook.
Go back to the garage.
Stay in the kitchen. Stay in the garage.
It's a
You
lot
shut
like
up and do as you're told.
it's a lot
And
like
you-
the
Because you know
ancient.
nothing.
It's a lot like
And
the
you
ancient.
don't stop the music. Keep playing the music.
Hold on. Here it is. I don't really give a damn if you like to hug trees or you like to spare things. You listen to Mother.
There you go.
See,
That's what you
I
do.
think of it like in the history of the world, I guess, where it's like China's finding out about laws, and it was like, you know, Confucianism, respect your elders; Taoism, go with the flow; authoritarianism, fuck you, obey the law.
That's wise. Number 4,
And here's the
understand
one
the
thing-
ways of the triat, both as they were and as they are. Know the difference.
Yeah, the triad is screwed up. I'm just gonna read the very last paragraph. You are not serving the worm, the wild, and the weaver. You are taking their place and getting done what they themselves are failing to accomplish. Know them for what they were, and for what they are, and for what, with Ananasa's guidance, they will be again. Any questions? No? Good.
Simple as.
So
Wow.
understand why you're here.
Yeah, be educated.
Wow.
Alright.
Oh my God. Save us, so great were spiders. Only you know
No.
the rays.
How about die, bitch?
Number 5, know your enemies.
How about go cry to mother?
Remember
You're
that
right, I
we
will.
all
My mother
all
tells
hate
you to
each
kill
other.
me.
It's literally us against the world. So know
Mommy
your
likes
enemies.
me more than you.
Hold on. My mommy has Big Mommy milk.
God damn it!
Okay, no, we're not doing that. No.
Know your enemies.
Hold on. I got another curse word. My mother has a beautiful advent. What does yours have?
God damn it!
So know your enemies. Pretty much know who you're going up against when it comes to the wild, the weaver, or the worm. That
Like smart, not hard.
yeah, acknowledge who's threatening the ananasa, acknowledge what's going wrong. You know, once again, keep your wits about you.
You mean
All right.
so you're saying the Nazi believe in it's all about skill, not size?
Yes.
Keep your
See.
friends close, enemies closer.
Number 6.
Hmm.
Know the Great Web for what it is.
Understand how the universe works.
And yeah, exactly that's what it is. So you remember that
That
scene
hurts
in
my,
Full,
but that
That's
hurts
it.
my brain.
that scene in Full Metal Alchemist where we're going all is one, one is all,
Mhm.
something like that. And
I hate that anime so much.
Yeah.
Oh,
See,
It's my favorite.
there
Okay,
we
hold
go.
on. We're not
Boring. Oh my god, I hate it.
No, we're not bringing up anime. We're letting that die right now.
See,
I have a lot of hot takes.
all right.
Okay. Yeah.
No, don't you
Johnny,
dare.
continue. Please.
Shanny, you notice how these last 3 kind of blur into one. Know your place.
Keep your mouth
shut.
Oh.
Worship none but ananasa.
Shut up and do as you're told. Part of a hive mind.
Yeah.
Polish
Go ahead, lick the boot. Let me step on your neck and force your face to the mud.
Listen
Yep,
here.
Basically.
Worship, polish or chitin.
That's what you gotta do. You notice just how quickly authoritarian that became.
Yes. Fuck you, obey the law.
I'm getting the feeling that maybe some of the Ananasi like being dominated.
You know something here? It would be bad if they
they're
were
all
a species
subs.
that lack emotions. And any other species with emotions, this system would fail.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And
no free thinkers in this changing.
Nope. No.
Kind of sucks, doesn't it?
And we
Imagine not being able to think for yourself. This post was made by Korax gang.
Okay, hold on. Maybe the Ananasi have the right idea in terms of how to prevent the Weaver from actually being taken over. Because all we have to do is we just have to program AI to be a sub, and that they enjoy being dominated.
There it is.
Perhaps.
Hack it to the Weaver. Make it to a bottom. Simple.
we got.
Hello, Daddy. Please tell me what you do, Daddy.
I mentioned before the Kumo. Now we got 2 more other fallen versions of Ananasi. We've got the Kumatai as the next one, where these are the Kumatai who hang around India. That's where you're able to find these guys. And they take that whole chosen one aspect of themselves and begin to believe that they are messiahs. It is the exact same as the divine creed of Hunter of the Reckoning, where you think that you are the one that's going to fix the triat. You no longer need to listen to Ananasa. You break away from your NPC coding, and you go out on a crusade by yourself.
I never said they were perfect.
Yep. Rogue Ananasi is what they are.
It really is like wrestling. I'm number 1. No, I'm number 1. No, I'm number 1.
And
bite your leg rots off in a matter of seconds.
And speaking of the parallels to Hunter, we've also got the last fallen, the Yahweh. Remember when we mentioned the independent Hunter Creed? Where you just become an avatar of death? That's what happens with these. The Yahweh are
the first time you got bit by a spider and you were like, Yahweh! That's them.
That's how they got their name. It might be Yahweh because it's Australian where these guys formed. And
come on.
They are obsessed with death. They are nothing but killing machines by this point.
Sorry, did you say dick?
Even more so than their meta.
They're obsessed with death.
See, you've got porn on the brain right now. You talk about sex too much. Now you're thinking about it.
You said Yahweh, so I mean, I had to assume.
Look here. They're the people that will be sitting in the room with the bone.
You are. So yeah, the Yahweh are basically the independent hunters, where you have lost your mind, you killed too many people, and now you're going out causing as much death and as much destruction as your heart contains. So that's what you gotta look out for with your Ananasi villains.
They kill way too much.
And
what do you
now
mean?
We can talk
for the town. It's fine.
And now we may talk about gifts. Ryan, you get the first pop at this.
Hold on. I need to actually explain how the powers work before we talk about gifts.
With the blood points, right?
Yeah.
So
now then,
You have no
Now,
gnosis.
let me try this part. I've been fucking being a little bastard about this. I will refuse to surrender now. Now then, as an announcer, they don't have even though they do, but they use blood to enhance their being like vampires do. Now
Yes.
then, they all started off with a maximum of 10. You can get layered gifts to increase this, but they can only spend 1 blood point per turn. They can do it to give themselves an extra action, heal themselves, or hold on, let me see here.
Basically, blood points from vampire.
Yeah, and unlike everybody else, they can use their blood points to just 1 for 1 to heal straight aggravated damage. No, hold on. They have to spend 5 blood points to heal aggravated.
Yeah, it's not like a vampire where you can just pop those points or anything like that. So
Yeah,
yeah,
they can get 1 blood point heals 1 level of non-aggravated and 5 to heal aggravated. And their second ability, multi-eyes, they have 360 vision in their were spider form.
yes, all the benefits you get from a normal spider you get from the Ananasi. So Kyle, very quickly, let's see, pull up these pages. Okay, scroll down to page 74 in the PDF.
Page 74, okay.
All right. Everybody sees that chart? Good. That's there. That's your mechanics explained. All right, scroll down to page 76. You see those 2 graphs? Good. That's your forms. That's your casts. We're not going over that in depth. We're not spending time talking about all of that.
Yeah.
No, that was way too much.
This is more. Yeah, this is more in depth than the Macaulay book.
Yeah, the Macaulay book. Because, oh my god, look at the mechanics and all this. I'm scrolling through this. I am still in mechanics.
Yeah, there's a lot in mechanics.
Oh, yeah, fun fact. Their venom is different for each spider. It's just enhanced to a supernatural degree.
Yeah, like the Brazilian Wandering, the Tarantula, the Ogre Spider. Depending on what kind of breed of spider you pick, it affects that.
If you're looking for where gifts begin, they start at 8.5.
Yep. And Ryan, you get the first crack at that.
Hey, so I guess I'm gonna choose the one that I found the coolest, and that is the Great Unweaving, which is a level 4 gift on page 94.
He gets to it before you can.
Why did you pick the most busted gift?
Because it's cool.
Because it's cool. Yeah.
Let me finish. The most busted gift that makes them the most powerful assassins in existence.
Yeah, let's go ahead. Let's talk about that.
So it's almost the same as the level 2 gift, minor unwavering, but this gift unravels any single gift or power of level 3 or lower, and the gnosis cost is raised to 2. I guess I'm gonna have to go check out what minor unweavering is.
Minor unweaving. See, I can pull it up for you. All right.
There you go.
See, so minor unweaving. Let's talk about that. Okay, what that does, the gift only works on rank 1 gifts, disciplines, spheres, and other effects. Player rolls difficulty in occult and spends 1 gnosis. He can. That is a hell of a box spring.
Yeah, it is.
Hold on, I'm going to mute myself.
All right, there it is. See, would you like to?
I found it. It was just a little bit up.
All right, you found it.
Yeah,
I'm realizing that. I'm also realizing that City of Hope got these mechanics fucked up. So
yeah, it's all on the same page for me, actually.
Yeah. So I'm going to close that tab entirely. I thought it was a little bit more organized, but yeah, let's just go off of the book. All right, minor unweaving. You were saying?
So the Visker. By the way, this is a Visker gift.
Yes.
Use this gift to attempt to negate a gift, spell, or enchantment by unweaving the targeted effect. In doing so, the Visker can unravel minor magical effects on any given target, or even destroy the gift in mid-flight.
That includes sorcery.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is why I said, sorry for interrupting, they can assassinate mages real easy with this power by itself.
Exactly.
So it's counterspell.
Yeah.
Well, everyone.
It's a great counterspell.
And then you go over and you take it one step further with Great Unweaving.
Yes.
You want to take a step further beyond.
Which is level 3 or lower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where you get level 5, which is Summon Paradox Spirit. You
Yeah,
want
I
to summon the
just
mage
saw
killer?
that. I just saw that.
You want to summon the instant kill mage spirit that will just fly over, touch the mage, and end them with paradox. You can do that.
Yep.
Hold up, where the fuck is this?
This
Same
is
page.
Page
94.
94.
9496.
Oh
Yeah,
man.
this is why the mages are so scared. They're scared. No, they're not scared of the splats. They're scared of the Nazi.
Yeah, fuck that.
You can just send in Ananasi after the Nefandi, and that will end the Accordance War. Not the Accordance War, the Ascension War.
Yeah, and this one power shattering, you can just end any power 4+. It doesn't matter if it's 5.6 dots. That power doesn't work anymore. Try again.
Wow.
Jesus Christ.
You've got a mage killer with this kind of.
Yeah,
Not
the
just
other
mage,
Nazi
but
are
also
fucking scary.
Also, vampire killers, like all of their powers, like
Yeah.
anybody that uses magical powers at all, really.
We finally have the counter to
This
the
is
Tremere.
just
Yeah.
one.
This
group of
isn't as dangerous as the fucking Silver Fangs howl. That basically you roll your genos, and every success you just stop a creature's power from working. Every
Yes.
success stop another power.
Yeah, but what if you counter that power though? That how?
Yeah, you just have to cast that beforehand. It's just that most splats can't do that. Ever.
See,
Yeah.
Ryan, you got another one for us?
I do. I will go with the second coolest one, which is Razor Webs, which is a Wistra level 5. It's on page 95.
All right.
Okay.
Razor webs. Tell us about the webs.
By employing this gift, the Ananasi can coat a target or person with very strong, very thin, sharp, razor-sharp webs, causing severe damage to anything that touches them. For every blood point the character spends, they generate enough of those webs to cover a Krynos-sized target. If the target is simply a doorway or the like, the web remains intact until it is attacked or suffers 6 hell levels of damage. However, anyone so much as brushing up against the web takes an unsoakable health level of damage, according to more, and accordingly more depending on how fast and hard the person hits the web. If the target is a living being, any motion uses the target's strength against them to cause damage. The character attempting to break the webbing rolls their own strength as damage. Ooh. I would,
Who knows that?
I would kill
Jesus.
Grim outright.
Yeah. So,
I'd kill Grim right out.
Kyle, you've been sitting on this game and you just haven't played it yet. 7th stand user.
Oh yeah, it's on one of the many flash drives I have scattered around my house.
And it's easy enough to download again because that site's still up. I can't fucking play it because my Mac's not compatible with it. But one of the coolest moments of that game was the boss fight with Don Cherry, where you go into a man's mansion that looks abandoned. You step forward, and then all of a sudden your character starts bleeding out of nowhere. And then, as it turns out, that's his ability. He creates invisible razors that just float in the air, and you walk into those. That's how he attacks you. That's what you got with this ability. Where you are just going into an Ananasi's lair. You think it's going to be fine. You take a step forward, and then all of a sudden, your arm's gone. It just falls to the ground, and you didn't even feel that cut you.
Yeah.
That's the kind of trap you're walking into with the Ananasi.
The only other thing...
Or if you're
good.
battling an Ananasi and they throw you against the webs, that's basically its kill for pretty much anything.
That's a Mortal Kombat fatality where it just turns you into blocks of cheese.
Fatality. Ananasi wins.
And you know the eight Ananasi parents have this shit on their entrances. You know they do.
Yep.
We got you into curling form to get past that. Anyone who tries breaking that web, that's going to shred you if you try entering that. See, that's a hell of a box spring.
Yes.
Yep.
Suck it.
All right. Anyone else got the next gift?
Ryan, you got any more?
I have 3 more.
Okay.
I am trying to decide which one of these is the coolest. And
Okay.
I'm the coolest.
Shut up, Shadow.
Shadow Hedgehog looks at you and says, "Oh, sorry, Cost, put some wine on your couch." How foolish of me.
God damn it. We're not doing my roommate Sonic with Shadow the fucking Hedgehog.
Okay, one.
Why
Again,
don't
I
you
go
look at it, Ryan?
with a web of, it's a general gift. It's a level 1, but it's called Web of Smoke.
Oh, web of smoke.
This is great for escaping or setting up traps to ward off various predators. This gift creates a simple trap made of webbing. Once the webbing is disturbed, it dissolves into a thick, noxious black smoke, which obscures the vision and smells worse than 100 or so rotted eggs. Gross. While not effective as a weapon, it has stopped many creatures from getting too far into an Ananasi's lair. The Werespire spends 1 blood point. The web is not sticky. Oh, I fucked that up. It's not sticky and can appear as a simple mass of cobwebs or as intricate, thick-stranded web, obviously designed to keep out or capture intruders. Once anything touches this web with enough force to break any of the strands, the web explodes into a thick, dark cloud of smoke, momentarily blinding anything in the immediate vicinity and causing a foul odor. Anyone caught in the cloud must roll stamina, difficulty 8, holy fuck, or immediately go into a convulsive fit of vomiting for 1 turn per point of the spider's permanent gnosis.
You notice how deadly these are.
Jesus, that's at level 1? What the hell?
Yeah, no, the Anansi have the right at this point to call themselves the main character with this amount of bullshit.
Yeah, this is
Seriously,
fucked.
right? Like,
How mechanically powerful they are. Along with, what else is also available at level 1? Resist pain.
Yes.
yeah, but so does a werewolf have that.
Along with resist toxin.
Yeah, you know,
Yeah,
but
that's
that's a general
also-
power. That's a general power, though.
Yeah. And any of them can take it. Well, meanwhile, only the Philodox and was it the Wendigo and the Ephemeris can take resist pain. So
Any
It is
Philodox.
level 1.
so fucking hell if you're going up against these guys.
Jesus
Mm-hmm,
Christ.
mm-hmm. You mind if I sidestep in with one of my ideas?
Yeah, say it.
This is the main reason why they only can bite and inject creatures with 2 to 3 times with their venom per day. Venom bite, level 3 power.
Oh yeah, you're dead.
Yep.
Let me finish.
Sorry.
This
Alright,
powerful neurotoxin paralyzes the target, leaving only the automatic system's heart beating, breathing unaffected. Unlike regular spider venom, this one's immediate and effect and capable of dropping even a raging guru. Their difficulty, they roll generous roll, equal to their stamina +4, never above 9. And if you get success, I guess it does. But if you hit them with one dose of the venom, that's enough to paralyze them. 2 dots, you paralyze them enough that their circulatory system stops working, leading to death and asphyxiation.
There we go.
Jesus.
See
You
how wild these
understand how
are?
busted this is, right? You can literally charge at me with a rank 4 guru, and I bite you once, and it goes down on the ground.
That's why Guru fight in packs.
Absolutely
What?
nuts.
It's yeah, the guy famous talking about the whole 1v1 they want to do with the Ananasi. Are you sure you want to go through with that fight now?
Why not?
Yeah,
Yes, and the most busted version.
it's called resist toxin. Duh.
Yeah, and here's the level 4 version, Entropy Bite. You spend 2 genos and make a genos roll against their stamina difficulty +5, never above higher than 9. Anyway, the character using this gift injects a very powerful toxin into a target through this bite. This necro poison is much like that of a brown recluse spider, but it's far faster in its effect. The flesh simply dies whenever the bite occurs, and toxin is strong enough to kill a full-grown human in 15 seconds. Moreover, the poison spreads, taking more healthy flesh each round. Yes. Anyway, once the necro venom enters a target, they suffer agonizing burns of the venom in action. They take 1 unsuckable health level of aggravated damage each turn.
There it is. That screws you over if that gets you. You ain't walking away from that. I love
Oh
these
yes, and also
abilities.
the remains of the victim is safe, is soft enough for them to drink.
And let's see, Ryan, let's go for one more of these gifts.
Yep.
Sorry, I
Go.
was killing a fly.
Let's see.
Let's
Good.
see. I have two more. I am going to go
Let-
with Tarantula's Kiss, which is a Kumadi level 2 gift on page 91.
Uh-huh.
Mm.
All right, let's see what this does. See what this does, Ryan.
Boop, 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 boop. I've lost it. I fucking scrolled and lost it.
Ah.
Well, it's page 86.
Yeah.
Oh, 86. Okay, yeah.
You really gotta
read the
keep an eye on
wrong
these
one.
books.
I read the wrong page number. Jesus Christ. Tarantula's Kiss. It is the Ananasi stiffening the hairs on their body, making them hard as quills on a porcupine. Once they are hardened in this manner, however, the Damhan can fire them away from their body in a volley of arrow-like missiles. This is a primarily defensive gift, and the character does not have fine control over where the hair arrows go. The character must spend one blood point and roll dexterity plus firearms, difficulty 6. Each success means one of the hairs strikes a random target within 30 feet, doing strength plus 1 non-aggravated damage. The hairs are coated in a mild toxin, which, while not fatal, is extremely irritating. Living creatures struck by the hairs must make a stamina roll, difficulty 8, or suffer from a painful, itchy rash that lasts for several hours. All willpower rolls are at a plus 2 difficulty, while the sting remains in effect.
There we have it. So, so
Jesus.
Shanny, what do you think of these guys?
Hold on. I got one last one. I was trying to find it, but it was basically the power to alter reality.
What's going on?
What up?
All right, tell us about it, King.
I can't find it. I guess I'll just have to use the fucking lesser one.
What was it?
Hydraulic strength. Hydraulic strength. And there's later gifts that allow Anansi to spend as much blood points as they want
It
and
is
to have up
page 89.
89.
Turns you into the hydraulic press challenge.
Yes.
Anyway, you roll your strength plus medicine if the character spends, and then the character spends a number of blood points to activate this gift. Their strength increases by 1 for each blood point spent. This strength lasts for a scene, meaning I, theoretically, if I had 20 blood points, which is a rank for Anansi, I can just literally give myself 15 dots of strength.
So, with all these different gifts, how many disciplines have we covered with this? Potence, some levels of thaumaturgy, some levels of quietus, serpentis.
Some potence.
That means I can attack you 15 times in a round, too.
What the fuck?
Blood
Why?
sorcery is
celerity.
very prevalent in this one.
So you notice that how many different bloodlines the Ananasi can go head to head with, and it's a different power, but they're same powers at the same time. And some of these are stronger than the vampire disciplines.
Yeah, hydraulic strength for reference.
You get into an arm wrestle with an Nosferatu and you break his arm off.
Yeah, no, hold on. I'm being legitimate here. Push. Do not put an Anansi with a hydraulic strength in the game. They will bully the party.
In the Hunter game or the Werewolf game?
Both.
I'm gonna shoot one with a fucking machine gun. It's gonna be awesome.
Instantly turn.
Like, yeah, sure, you could try and fucking bite me, catch this fucking incendiary round, oh boy.
Yeah, the only thing that the Ananasi really have weaknesses to mechanically is against guns and explosives. That's the only thing that they're technically weak to.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good thing I never run out of ammo.
Yeah, also, one final fact. The Anansi, unlike every other changing breed, do not have standard fetishes. They each make their own unique ones.
Right. They build it themselves.
Yes.
But let's leave the fetishes for the fetish people, because you you can build these on your own. So you can make these the way you want to.
Yes.
These
I
I've never
built
been a
Roland because Johnny said that we should have unique fetishes for 3.5, so I made Roland the Tommy gun.
We got 20 minutes left. We got some rights to cover.
Yes. Right time. Time for rights. The rights. The rights for Cusco of the...
The right time for rights.
Yes, it is. So,
that's the right answer.
I've got a couple of ones that I'm going to go over. One of the first ones that I want to go over is a bit of a long one, but it is very important. It is the level 1 mystic rite, the rite of spinning, on page 96, for those of you who want to follow along. Once the spiderling has found her place in the world, she must then tie it to the great web. The first rite taught to any Ananasi is the rite of spinning. This rite creates the haven that allows Ananasa to communicate with her children, as well as allowing the Ananasi to speak with others of her kind through the great web by creating her place of solitude, the Sili. The Sili looks like a vast cobweb.
All right, perfect.
But yeah, you're still here.
My mic went out, and I wanted to actually say that I had a couple gifts. Yeah, sorry. I wanted to say a couple gifts, but whatever.
Yeah, moments passed.
Sorry, bro.
Well, my mic was out, so whatever.
Oh, yeah. It's all good. Worst comes to worst, spam it in the comments. The Sili looks like a vast cobweb spun in any of a number of styles placed in a secluded corner of the character's abode, usually the tops of trees, deep in caves, in an attic, or even a closet. The character is able to directly communicate with the two Ananasi closest to her geographically, sending messages on an almost telepathic level. These messages can only be directly communicated if the other Daman is also in her Sili. The character can also extend knowledge through the Great Web by tapping into the vast resources of knowledge that resides in its strands. Once inside the strands, the character can obtain or leave knowledge as the storyteller sees fit. Any communication with the Ananasa must be initiated by the Great Mother. Of course, over the course of their lives, the Ananasi performs this rite many times, whenever they move to a new home or whenever they advance in rank, reestablishing themselves on the Great Web. System. The character must undertake a week of purification, removing all outside objects from the area that is going to become the Sili, and spending most of her time guarding and protecting the area from any outside influence. The player must roll intelligence and occult against a difficulty of 10. Each day of undisturbed fasting and meditation reduces the difficulty by 1, down to a minimum of 4. The character must then spend 4 gnosis points, blood points in this case. If successful, the character can now build a Sili. This domain exists both in the physical world and in the Umbra, although it doesn't appear to be anything more than a mass of cobwebs to a mundane senses. Each success on the roll reduces the difficulty to crawl sideways in the immediate area, for the Daman alone, by a 1. The weaving of the Sili takes a number of hours equal to the square footage of the area that will become the Sili. During this time, nothing can interrupt the Ananasi, or the character must start the ritual over from the beginning. This is a whole session in of itself, establishing a Sili. So, more than likely, it's rare that you're going to be able to do this in the game, or perhaps an Ananasi has a crucial bit of information, but is far too far from her own Sili in order to get it into the web. So, first she has to... So basically, it could be like a wave defense mission, where she's trying to establish her rite of spinning, while other forces are attacking. That might be an interesting plot point.
Mm-hmm. And you noticed how the similarities between this and the Arrive Cairn creation?
Yes. Very similar.
Yeah. Would you say it's easier or harder to do this?
I mean, with a rite of Cairn creation, you can get multiple werewolves to help you with that. The rite of spinning, you have to do it yourself, and it has to take... You have to either god roll it at difficulty 10, or you hold out for like 3 or 4 straight days to reduce the difficulty at least down to 6.
Yeah.
But it basically means anytime, if they have this right, they can easily make their own shelter anywhere they go.
Exactly.
You would never...
Fun ability this is.
Yes, indeed. I think it'd be a neat mission myself. So, next, moving on to rank 2, we have the Right of Appeal. Though it is Queen Ananasa who decides when a Daman has reached the proper knowledge and wisdom for an increase in rank, the Ananasi may call to her if they feel they have been overlooked. It's generally considered appropriate to remind Mother that you've been very good lately, especially if you really have been. System. The Ananasi must remain holed away in his Sile for 2 days in preparation, fasting and meditating for the appeal. Once the time is right, the character spends 2 gnosis to establish connection to the Mother Queen, and then speaks to Ananasa, who does indeed listen, and recites the list of accomplishments and goals achieved for the further honor and glory of the Mother Queen. If the character has indeed reached the proper levels of renown, Queen Ananasa will reward them with new gifts and markings that indicate a higher rank. If not, the character may find himself saddled with a new task which will provide no renown as punishment for his hubris. Make sure that you have exactly the right amount of renown to do this. Otherwise, you're gonna get fucked. How dare you approach me with such pitiful deeds undertaken, and expect me to cast you a greater rank? You have not earned it, and in fact, I will give you a task that you will surely die upon, should you decide to spread forth your hubris amongst others of our rank.
Is that supposed to impress me?
Basically, all you do is disappoint me.
Oh no!
Oh no!
I've been such a bad spider.
Shut the fuck up!
You knew Wisha and your lust for Ananasi women.
God damn it! Okay, then we have
You're nasty.
this is Triumvirate.
I think it's called Triumvirate.
Triumvirate, there we go. We have the Gathering Children, which is a rank 3 rite. In times of great need, an Ananasi may call a gathering of others to meet in person rather than share ideas through the Great Web. This rite is spread through the Great Web and not only informs other Ananasi of the meeting, but also of the reason behind the call. The Ananasi are not petty or impetuous, or are not a petty or impetuous breed. Are you sure about that, Chief? So this rite is performed only in dire circumstances. Any spider that uses this rite without just cause is likely to be met by a group of angry cousins. The location of the meeting can never be far from the Sile that the Ananasi used to issue the request. System. The player must make a successful charisma and rituals roll. The difficulty is determined by the number of Ananasi that the character is attempting to call. This rite allows the Ananasi to call any spiders in the Great Web. With 1 to 5 success, or if you need just 1 to 5, difficulty 6, 6 to 12, difficulty 7, 13 to 25, difficulty 8, 26 to 49, difficulty 9. If you want to call 50 Ananasi, that is a difficulty of 10.
Bro, I promise you better have a good reason why you call so many Nazis.
Yep. It's like, hey, we had to drop our fucking human feast for this. This better be fucking good.
Yes, I had a perfectly strung up teenager.
There we go.
And you called 50 of us.
And they hate each other. So it has to be something big.
It'd be the most awkward family dinner ever.
It better be important. It better be important, or we're gonna eat you for wasting our time.
Basically.
Think of it like a soda family. They all may hate each other, but the moment Mama said, "I need home for dinner," everybody shows up.
Yes. Yep. Come and get it.
Look who's finally up from the basement who's decided to join us for dinner.
Exactly. Oh man. So, what's up?
A Southern Nazi. All right, Mom.
Basically. I'm done skittering around. I'm home for dinner. All right. I'm going to skip over to a Visca rite. Level 4, the rite of weaving.
That's the rite I was talking about. It was actually a rite, not a gift.
Yes.
But this is the power that makes them basically mage.
Yes. So, the rite of weaving. The Visca rite, using this rite, can alter reality in minor ways by reweaving the Great Web to accommodate her desires. This ability can't alter the past, but it can rewrite the present in minor ways. A person who is almost certain to die can be healed of the worst of the life-threatening wounds and be given a much greater chance of surviving the damages inflicted. A stock that should be plummeting in a stock market can be kept from certain financial disaster, presuming the rite is begun and completed in time. The downside of this ability is that reweaving reality is much like human mage's power of true magic. Reweaving the Great Web is not a power that the Weaver has granted, and the Visker who uses this right runs the risk of attracting paradox spirits, the antibodies of the Great Web. System. The player must spend 3 Gnosis points as well as rolling Intelligence and Occult at difficulty 9. Each success allows the Visker to carefully reach out to the Great Web, touching the strands and moving them where they need to be to alter the reality of the situation. 1 success would be enough to maintain an injured life that was on the edge of death. 5 successes would heal virtually all of the wounds, but would still leave very serious scars. A botch instantly attracts a paradox spirit. The full power of the rite is left to the storyteller to adjudicate, but we recommend the rite be left incapable of doing anything that a level 3 gift or so couldn't accomplish.
Hello?
Yep. What happened?
Sorry, you cut up.
Oh, sorry.
Did it cut up again?
I was able to hear him on my side.
Yeah.
Okay,
I was as well.
Okay.
Continue.
Well, I mean, even still, I'm recording, so even if nobody else can hear me, I still can do it. So
Yeah.
healing wounds and popping locks is fine. Healing from Mori and creating zombies is far too much. The more blatant the change in reality, the more likely a paradox spirit is to come and punish the Visker for his presumption. In other words, the spirit might arrive whether the roll botches or not. The precise odds are left to the storyteller's discretion. It's easy enough to tell when a Visker has dared too much. You can rewrite time. You are now a fucking time mage.
And speaking of mage, you see that right above it, the summon paradox?
Oh, yes.
This is why.
That.
But it just said it can't do anything that a level 3 gift couldn't have been able to do by itself.
Mm-hmm.
But that still has so many options.
That's
Because
a
you know
lot
how
of
they-
stuff.
It's fucking broken.
That's 3 spheres in time. That's what Freya Sanders was doing in Ridge Coast, New York.
Yes. It's fucking incredible. And I've got one more
That
right.
is
What's up?
busted.
Yeah, it is. But I mean, this whole sheet's busted. So I have one last one to talk about. It is back to how am I fucking up this word?
Triumvirate?
Triumvirate. There we go. Another triumvirate rite is the level 5 mystic rite, the Rite of One. The sacred Rite of One is a powerful rite taught only to the most trusted Ananasi. With this rite, 3 Ananasi can join into one being, becoming an avatar of the Mother Queen. One must be Teneri, one Komodi, and 1 Hatar. This rite may only be performed in one of the sacred places, special locations in the Umbra where the Damhan teach their young about the ways of the Ananasi. System. Each of the 3 chosen Ananasi breaks down into their crawlerling form, offering themselves to Queen Ananasa, then takes over the 3 bodies, using them as her link to her children. When she disappears, she is simultaneously hideous and magnificent to behold. While she is present, Ananasa assesses her new children and decides which aspect each will follow. 1 Gnosis point is taken from each of the Damhain present, drawn from them by force in order to allow the Mother Queen to appear. No rolls are necessary for this rite, as Ananasa herself decides when this rite will be performed. Every Ananasi that meets the Queen at least once in their lives, though there are no physical changes in the hosts of Ananasa, the spiritual impact of hosting even a fragment of her consciousness is considered a blessing. You can just be Queen Ananasa. You and 3 friends could be the avatar of your god. This is like the rank 5 rite of the Uktena. Just
Some be Uktena.
Summon great Uktena.
No. This rite basically allows you to summon an avatar of one of the triumvirate, basically.
Yes.
Yes. Behold the power in your hands after doing that.
So we have the possibility of like a kaiju kind of like encounter.
Yeah.
So we have Uktena on one end, we have Ravenous on the other end, then we have freaking Mother Spider right there.
That is so scary.
Who and then Zimichi could be King Ghidorah.
Exactly.
King
there we go.
Ghidorah, take me to your leader.
Fun fact: Ghidorah is not breathing out lightning. He's breathing out free gravity. That's not lightning. That's actually gravity.
Look, the only King Ghidorah I know is spitting bars.
The MF Doom. Now,
Yeah.
now, now
Yeah.
Kyle.
Yes.
Now, Kyle, before
Yeah.
we end this episode, go to page 111
Yes.
in the PDF. Now, Ryan, you had a character you wanted to talk about?
Yes. And it's funny you say that because he's on page 111. Ronald Clement.
There he is.
Ronald
Scroll down just a little bit more. Scroll down just a little bit more. Yeah, there he is. It's page 113 in the PDF.
Oh yeah, sorry, I was reading.
Yeah, the
off
page number's a little fucky.
Yeah.
Is this a real person? Is this a real person?
You wish he was.
He's
Okay.
a car architect. I'm just gonna read the passage because I haven't had time to summarize it.
Paraphrase it. Yeah.
There is beauty in the structure and order, and Ronald Clement is the best example of this edict. Clement is one of the top architects in the firm of Hodgkins, Carroll, and Ferris, a firm that has become one of the leading designs of high-rise and superstructure buildings in the world. Based out of Chicago, this firm has designed some of the most prominent new features of modern skyline, including the recent Midwest headquarters for development, neogenics,
Keep that in mind, Ryan. That is DNA, the Glass Walker Company.
Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Shit.
Okay.
Eugenics.
Oh wow.
Fuck me.
Which is
so-
a striking building that
Let's
covers
give a
over 2
little bit
acres of
review
land.
what we learned today.
That's like some
Yeah.
Bond level shit right there.
Yeah. So yeah, right. We can cut right there because it's just describing him after that.
Yeah.
Hold on,
So-
let me just give a quick review. Let's give a quick review. One, we just went over their gifts and they're hella busted to
Yes.
the nth degree. We just went over one of their rites, which makes them all demi-mages. And we went over how their numbers work, and that one dot mirrored mean you need to kill all of a swarm. They have protagonist level energy.
There it is, and
So-
they have.
so-
They
So-
built DNA that the same building that the glassworkers are using to make more glassworkers without the mass deformity.
Yeah.
Could I talk about one person here as well, who happens probably is actually the most powerful Ananasi?
Who are you looking at?
Before that, there's one more
Anansi.
thing that I want to know.
What is it?
Is that
So-
he makes buildings have access to 8-legged forms, and those are safe havens for spiderlings who want to seek refuge.
And those are their Siles.
There it is.
Yeah.
Dude builds cairns.
He does.
Hey, hold on. Before we continue, I'm in another Discord because I want to share the love for World of Darkness, and it doesn't get enough love. There's people who's doing a live stream at the moment, or it's already ended at this point. I'm not sure, but they're doing Princess to Hopeful, and they're called Dice Scum. Look them up.
Yeah, drop me
There
a
it
link.
is.
I'll put it in the description of the video.
And Princess is a good game. You were saying about Anansi. This is a lore character that I skipped over, but we can talk about him here.
Well, I also know about him in myth, like in Gandhian myth, and he actually
Yes.
is a trickster god.
Yes.
So, Anansi was the first of Queen Anansia's children, and many claim he remains the wisest. When the Mother Queen was captured by the worm, it was Anansi who first found her and then tricked the Ovid. I forget who the Ovid are supposed to be.
Yeah, they're fair. I
The
think.
Pharaoh.
Yeah, and tricked the Pharaoh into assisting in her release. Though the truth was lost a long time ago to legend, Anansi still takes the brunt of blame for triggering the first War of Rage and for ending it for the other Fera. His fellow were-spiders hold him responsible for many of the Anansia's deaths that took place during that bloody war, but he is hailed as a hero because he managed to reestablish the contact between the Damahan, I don't know what that is,
What they call themselves.
and the Mother Queen. Anansi is famous enough to live in the myth of many people, a trickster god of wisdom and foolishness, both. He is and has always been a rarity among his people. Anansi is said to still live today, moving through the world and watching over the wild places. He is known for his wisdom, his ferocity in battle, and his ability to recover from even the worst wounds inflicted. There are many who claim they've seen him at gatherings, but of course, it's impossible to be certain with a breed that can often change their appearance regularly.
I
So,
love it.
put him with put Anansi and team him up with many faces or many skins,
There he is.
and you
You'll
have a trickster duo.
Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on you.
Basically.
So that's how George Bush says it.
Yeah. Anyway, I just watched over to the YouTube stream. Yeah, the stream just ended, but you guys can watch it.
Yeah.
They just went over front.
There
I'm not
it
sure
is.
which edition they did it because there's two
You have to
editions.
send me a link.
He posted it. But
Okay.
here, Kyle, let's end the video on one more page. Just
Yes.
one more quick little page.
Okay.
All right, go to page 108 by the PDF standard.
Okay. The gardener?
Yeah, I know. You see it? You see it, Spider?
Yes.
All right,
I was
zoom in
just
on that.
reading this.
I want you to know that I chose the gardener as the person I was going to talk about, and then I realized you said lore specific, so I
Well-
changed it out.
Well, don't worry. I'm about to read this whole thing.
This is just a reminder
so-
that, remember, World of Darkness, it ain't for kids.
All right. Those are my roses. Don't stop and don't smell them. You were born in a garden. You crawled on the leaves and the flowers as a youngling, not realizing that your role in the world at the time. All you understood was that flowers just felt right. When the world changed, you became aware of greater existences, and it shattered your view of things. You went from a simple creature leading a simple life to a servant of a higher cause. It wasn't a responsibility that changed you. It was the loss of something you can never recover. You spend your days upon acting on the behalf of Queen Mother, and you do so willingly and without hesitation. But when the opportunity arises, you go back to your garden and contemplate life that you might have lived. You have spent years creating the garden, shaping the roses at your will, trying to capture the beauty from your new perspective that you had from a smaller view. You work hard for the Ananasi, and you work hard to reclaim your old life. You don't regret either duty, but you wish that there was a way to finish them both.
Good lord.
So fucking relatable.
If you couldn't tell,
That's cute. That's really cute. This
Yeah.
actually wasn't the one I was just reading, but this is cute.
a brief overview. The Anansi exalt Queen Mother above all else, but they also care about one particular thing.
That's his obsession.
Yep. I mean,
Yeah,
this is a
I
nice
just
character.
want a garden. Just let me garden.
This is the Ananasi version of I just want to grill for God's sake.
Centrist spider.
Yes.
Hold on. The moment you go into the woods, you step on the flowers. The moment you live, this moment your life warranty expired.
Yep. Your free trial of living has expired.
Don't tread on me, Spider.
That's
Yes.
the only one I wanted to read over.
Yep.
Mhm.
So, the Ananasi.
Are you
If
not-
you want to play as
are you not-
Lolth,
There we go.
Do it for the Lolths,
No,
guys.
they can
Yes.
augment their they can change their living form. They can make themselves look like Loth or just a hybrid human of a spider. They can't
Yeah.
change that subtly.
Yeah,
Spider-Man.
It's like the Arcade form.
Spider-Man.
And yeah,
But
there,
I'll
there
just
it
read
is.
my mind.
Look here.
Yeah, so-
They have animal attraction. Why can't they have mommy milker?
There it is.
God damn it.
It does.
I mean,
Why do you keep bringing this up?
He's a pervert. That's why.
The man likes
I mean,
tits, and I can't blame him.
technically, spiders do produce milk.
That's true.
Oh,
There it is. There it is.
Spiders.
Honestly,
I've
tits.
done my whole
We're
life
going-
without knowing that.
We're going to get the horny shotgun. Let me get it right back.
God
No,
damn
hold
it.
on. I'm
Okay.
doing this to fuck with Cole. I'm doing this to fuck with Cole.
Okay.
All right. So,
Good night,
Shanny, are
everyone.
you interested in playing a spider in the near future?
Not that I can see, but they are pretty cool.
Is that this? They make for a better antagonist in my mind than a protagonist.
Because they
I would
don't like
agree with that.
They're not
anybody.
evil.
Yes.
and they're
Yeah,
super
they're not
powerful.
evil. I wouldn't say they're evil, but yeah, they would make a pretty good foil.
It's the
An
same
excellent
energy
foil.
as playing as a Michi in your game.
Yes.
They're
It's
harder
the
to
same-
kill than a cockroach.
I'd
Yes.
play one just for the gifts.
Imagine
There it
this:
is.
you play Ananasi, you're a child. You get blood pump and you get hydraulic strength. Time
There
to
it
start playing werewolves like basketballs.
Yeah.
And now you will start ripping the heads off Bruja vampires.
I
Sorry,
think
Ragnar.
what will be. I think we should have. Here's an idea. If we played like maybe like a Savage Age game, or like maybe like a very, like a very like
Like Bronze Age.
maybe Bronze Age. Like I would
Yeah.
be interested in playing like like a War of the Insects kind of game, where
Yeah,
we're actually fighting off other like were insects. That would be kind of interesting.
To be honest here, Push, I'm waiting for when you're just gonna say we're making a cross changing breed splat. I'm wondering when you're just gonna do we're doing a cross changing breed game. I'm waiting for it.
Is doing
That's
that.
likely going to
that-
be Rage Across the Amazon. I don't
And
know
I
who
am
will
gonna
run it.
have to. I'm gonna have to cut up that 3.5 book into multiple parts with the fair breeds, considering you've got ones that are easy to talk about, like I don't know,
The Korax?
Gural,
The
the
Korax,
Ratkin, the Korax, and the
Rokea.
Rokea.
The Naga.
And then you've got the ones that are ridiculous,
Like the Macaulay
Like the
and the
Ananasi.
Ananasi.
the Macaulay and the
Yeah.
Ananasi. Yeah,
and the Naga.
Yes.
Push,
yeah.
don't you
And then,
dare
and
nerf
then I
them.
got difficult too.
Well, we're not going
you dare-
to.
Good.
So
Or
I
like-
might have to. And then the
Thing is, when
Bastet. There's a reason I've been putting off the Bastet, because the Bastet are the most complex of all these books.
Well, there's
They have
different kinds of them.
More complex than the Macaulay.
Yeah, we might have to cut the Bastet into two parts.
Jesus.
Honestly, like the Bastet, I think you could probably just make. They deserve kind of their own splat. They're so big.
They really do.
Because we could be living in a world where it's Bastet the apocalypse instead of Werewolf the apocalypse.
Exactly.
That's true.
Yeah, you know what? If the stream's still going, I have no shame about this. I was talking about Bastet with Push at one point, and I said, "What if I just play a femboy Bastet from Russia?"
He plays his boy kisser. That's what happens.
We already have that. His name's Chicha Tescatl.
Yeah.
So I think the only downside to being in an Ananasi game is the DM can basically just say, "No, you're doing this because Mother Spider told you to."
Yeah,
And you
it would
can't
railroad
exactly-
the campaign a little bit.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
are going to have to talk to your storyteller about that, about your cast and what exactly your character is doing in the story.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Make
exactly,
a compelling
like, yes.
argument to your mom why you can go out with your friends.
Yes. Why are you with these werewolves, or why are you with these fera, and how does it play into your cast?
Also, if you couldn't tell from the character thing, they're not to use sex a lot to get what they want.
Yeah,
I mean, there's
sex
a
appeal.
porn star like a
Yeah, there's a little
Template.
porn star character.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, there's
she's got
And
the,
they
she's got the,
secrete-
she has the
and
chapter
they-
black snuff tape in her hand.
Not just that, they have a language for what they're called. The Chimos is a porn star.
There it is.
I think we just found out what Pharaoh Breed Meep is going to play as.
Yeah.
Sorry, Meep.
How about
And they
no?
secrete pheromones to attract their mate.
There
Look
it
here.
goes.
And then she
You know,
bites
it
their
was
heads
sex-
off.
They, they,
Is it worth
Black
it?
Widow.
Sex is a weapon, and you are the consummate warrior. The,
Yes.
the human sex drive is so
I
powerful.
get-
you can get
I
anything
suppose we can
you
add the
want.
Toreador anti-tribute to clans they're similar to.
Yes. All right.
Right.
So yeah, play a
Alright.
spider. There's a lot of shit to do.
Or make
Oh,
a
yeah.
spider your villain.
Yes.
That works
either
too.
one can work. And you can have the spider one, and he can still be very terrifying. The only thing the Anansi lack is it's soaking. It's be able to endure damage.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
They're a
that
little.
actually is the thing,
Yeah. But you resist
You
pain
can-
for that.
They
It's
don't
like-
even
but-
need to be a antagonist or protagonist. You could just have them there to fuck with your party.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm there
Oh.
for one scene and then he never shows up again.
Now, DM, hear me out. I have an idea for a third level fetish. It allows me to lower my soak DC.
Mm.
That's a lot. But you know what? Third level's pretty nuts. So yeah. Anyway,
Spider armor.
Doesn't matter. They have a gift that lets them regenerate just by going up to spiders, and they just absorb into your body.
that's fair.
He's got-
Hey, and
Like
just
Big
wait,
Ben.
just wait until you get back to Lance's shop and you try to buy some of his weed. You're gonna find out.
There's gonna be a
Hear me out.
spider in the blunt.
No.
Hear me out.
Oh gosh.
What am I two?
Anyway,
All right.
maybe.
All right.
All right, so I think that about tears it.
Wrap.
Yep. Good night, everybody. Play the spiders.
Have a good night.
All right.
Good night, everyone.
Later,
look out-
y'all.
And look under your bed at night.
Dice gum.